Howdy, folks. Welcome to Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign. I am Joe Treff, your game master this evening and most, and joining me are my friends. That's the normal way that I talk. Matt, Dan. Dan, you just gotta...
Matt, you're too far left.
That's you too, Matt. Yeah, you gotta... Matt, it's your fault this time.
It really is.
Matt, Dan, Kara, Olive, and Ari.
Stars.
Yeah, we have very good concentration. So we're gonna play Starfinder, but before we do, there's chaotic energy tonight.
No.
It's Corpse Survivor night. Couple of announcements. First of all, there are two ways that you can support the stream: bits and channel points. Bits are Twitch's microcurrency. You can use those to impact the story during this session in very direct ways. You could do things like add some brand new weapons onto the battlefield. You can do things like add supporting characters to the group's party. All those things are for bits. And then channel points you accumulate for free just by watching, and you can use those to shape elements of the story. I forgot to add the new reward on, so there's none today. There's Wheel and Woe. Oh, that's why there's been so many Wheels and Woes. That makes sense.
Because I can't go to RS Bay Resort Fund.
That's what it is. That's okay. So we will be doing something that is Starfinder related next week. It will actually have a little bit to do with Bubs' backstory, and so we'll be getting that next week. But in the meantime, you can use your channel points to wheel or woe and create some minor good or bad things for the group.
Squeaky,
and then
clean, quick.
We had Albert on our... What was that?
That's what the channel points. It's like how many squeaky clean there's left in the world.
Squeaky clean.
No. I think it's a little cooler than that. We have @AlbronRPG for different social media things like Instagram and Threads and TikTok we have now. So all those things are @AlbronRPG. You can see things like the combat and counter maps like this, which is the arena that all of you will be stepping into momentarily, which you can see a little bit on the screen, but you can see way, way better @AlbronRPG on Instagram. We have a website, AlbronRPG.com. It is recently updated. What are you doing over there?
Yeah, what the fuck?
My shoes all sweaty. Please go over there.
Yeah, guys, we're rated M stream, but not that way.
Yeah. We are in the Corral and Casino, but it's on this side of the camera.
Yeah.
So I know it's getting spicy over
Yeah,
there.
jeez.
Subscribe to our TikTok for behind the scenes. Dan shirtless.
Right?
So
Corral.
yeah. Tomorrow there is going to be a D&D game, Courts of Everest. That is our 5th edition game. I believe it is session 30, and we are picking up deep in the dungeons of Kirlor Tel Eldar. And then finally, for music and sound effects, like the music that you can maybe hear behind you, you may also be able to hear things like drums, or Ari's favorite, a fart. So those are sound effects for Sirenscape, which are available for game masters, for people who like to add sound effects to really inappropriate times in their lives. Sirenscape, not a sponsor
Yet.
And with that, I can get us into our recap.
I'm not a child, but I'd want to choke on this so bad.
Wow. Somebody clip that. That's
Out of
I'm talking
context,
about
man.
tiny dice that are choking
They
hazard.
look like candy.
They do.
It's nothing else.
Mosaic Team 5. Last we played in the aftermath of Snakes on a Train. You took inventory and encouraged survivors to gather near the front. Gibbs, you dealt with being left alone yet again on the train while looking for survivors near the areas hit worst by the snakes, finding the bodies of individuals like Raw Titanium, amongst others. Echo, you used the confusion to sneak into the state-of-the-art engine craft of the Tony Express to steal Tony's communicator, to look at what he had been looking up on the infosphere and who he had been communicating with, which came down to largely ways to fill the rapidly emptying seats and cargo space after the train incident caused many people to rebook their passage on to Prime Station. Spice, Bubbles, and Shade all spoke to Peter and the other ShorePoint contractors, 34 the android and Tags Lil Shunta, and did not handle their offer to work together very gracefully. As a result, you became slightly more oppositional forces than teammates, and decided that you would all exit the craft upon arriving at the Katydid Corral and Casino. You had a brief argument over how to best proceed. You had loose plans of don't let Spice gamble. Gibbs, you handcuffed yourself to Spice.
And reinforce the handcuffs.
Yep, reinforce the handcuffs using extra goop. Sorry, I just had a little pop-up. And your very loose plans were immediately thrown to the wind when you were offered a chance to fight in a pit in place of the snakes that had escaped aboard the train. Guided by Dreshai, the Lashunta attendant working for the corral and casino, you made your way to the intense pulsing beats of the Viper's Pit, where you changed into new armor and were briefed on the CPR lasers that will shoot at targets more than 10 feet above the 20 feet walls of this arena. And promised a reward of 50,000 credits, win or lose, and a statue commissioned Mosaic Team 5, or should I say Castrovellian Cobras, with you clad in form-fitting snakeskin armor and armed with, and armed with slightly stylized versions of your weapons. That is where we begin this evening, with Drachai pushing the doors open and the lights dazzling you with the whole fade to white. Give me just one moment. Yeah.
Viper Queen!
Oh boy. Okay. Give me just one moment here.
Katydid Queen.
Katydid Queen! Oh, you kept saying
Sorry,
Viper
Viper.
Queen, so now my notes say Viper Queen.
Sorry.
Katydid Queen!
I think actually Katydid.
Yeah, I thought it was
Katydid Queen!
Yeah.
It is the Katydid.
Katydid cow.
Actually, I'll be
KDQ.
honest, I don't know, but I think it's Katydid Queen.
Can it be Viper Queen for consistency?
Only our consistency. Joe's been saying it right the whole time. If we change the names for every time, we like consistently fucked it up though.
Cunnilingus gone. That would it's canon.
We're M-rated for this Corral and Casino session arc. You right, Dan?
Yeah.
Okay. So for all of you, as the doors open up, you can hear there are individuals who are kind of like filling the stands up above and around you. What's here? Gonna get my raucous crowd.
Raucous crowd.
So,
The one old guy.
yeah, I know. You can see all around you as you enter from the bottom of this place. Let me pull up this thing in the combat. There is this stone arena, and all up the sides there are sheer stone walls that create this just completely sheer, basically a stone box that you will be within. There are two pillars that rise up to the ceilings. They're broken in miniature form, but that was just, I mean, that's just how they are, but they're not broken in real life. They go straight up to the ceiling, which is about 50 feet up in the air. All of you know, again, that going more than 10 feet above the edges of this arena will result in these CPR lasers firing at you, potentially causing quite a bit of damage.
How much?
Basically up to here, 10 feet, right? So
have my
basically
notes.
10 feet
to the-
above where...
Yeah,
so,
so
above
30
where
feet
they
total.
are.
yeah,
So like up to here.
a little bit lower. Yeah, right about there. There are people all around the periphery. You can see this metal walkway that walks around that leads to a slightly condensed stone section. And then on the very end, you can see these like big floating projected hard light screens that show close-ups of the inside. You can actually see all of your faces, although covered in these snake-like masks, as people just cheer and begin to yell. Just kind of floating across, and then the camera pans, and you can see in the very middle a spotlight on, and the Katydid Queen stands in the middle. This is an individual who is a Lashunta, and I think you'd seen videos of her previously.
Yes.
She is somebody who, give me just 1 second here. It was just getting a little loud, and I wanted to make sure we were overwhelming people with that. She is a raven-haired Lashunta with eyes that are almost like a faded red. You can see she wears green armor that looks like it's almost carapace of beetles. It glimmers green like plates of gem that just barely cover her upper body, like a corset, and then an integrated skirt with leg slits that go so high up it's almost a loincloth. She wears thigh-high boots covered in matching plates with matching forearm bracers and gloves, geometric pauldrons, and a modified flight helmet that appears to have at one point been more of like a commercial pilot's helmet. And then also behind her, you can see currently in more of like a passive state and folded, these projected hard light wings that you had seen previously she used to move in a similar manner, although slightly more dexterous than a jetpack. That is what you see, and at this point, from behind you, you can hear this Lashunta pipe up a little bit, and she says, just remember, we'll pay for any medical expenses, and if you get especially hurt, we'll take care of the surgery. Anything cosmetic is on you, though. Good luck. And she kind of stands back and she pulls the data pad back. And do you all enter?
Yeah.
Can we see the crowd around?
Where's our minis?
Yeah, you can. Make a perception check.
Right here.
I'm looking for
We're right here.
any signs of suspicious individuals, particularly 899.
I do a perception check on her wings.
Yeah.
Specifically, I want to see if you said they were projected.
Make a perception check.
24.
Yeah.
24. With the 24, you scan around, and through your heads-up display, you can see like the little targeting reticle hits different people and tries to match them with any publicly available information that you can quickly pull up. You don't immediately catch anybody that registers as a bounty, and so for whatever that's worth, there's nobody who seems immediately dangerous. You don't see anybody with GPF uniforms. You also don't see anybody wearing USR attire. Most people here clad in darker clothing, more like a club wear. You okay over there?
I just bounced the magnet.
Very nice.
Not intentionally.
It happens
It'd been cooler if
sometimes.
it was intentional.
And so these lights, as they kind of like strobe and move everywhere, they make it a little hard to make out details, but you don't see anybody who looks especially threatening. There are people who do have weapons, which is not super uncommon in this dangerous day and age. But yeah, that's what you see. And I would say with that check, also Shade, you can see there are these two, what look like, I think they're called Riforians, or these like winged humanoids. You actually see one who's standing on the very end. There are two statues that are very similar to that individual with these bat-like wings. And in their faces, where there would normally be like a more humanoid face, there is a carved, like roughly hewn hole, and a laser projects out of that. And you would imagine probably the CPR lasers.
18, and specifically on the Queen's wings.
As the sound goes up and the lights begin to flash and you can hear, ladies and gentlemen, and like this overhead announcer begins to go off, and this individual turns and gazes over at you. You look past her and look at these wings. They are glimmering light. You can see just almost through them, although they are slightly opaque. And as you look and as she turns, they do this almost like flutter, like a hummingbird or a dragonfly perhaps.
Okay, so I can tell they're organically part of her body.
No, they are light, but they are, you've never seen something that is this showy and also functional. It's pretty advanced or custom made.
I'm gonna ping to everyone that the lasers are coming from the statues.
Okay, so
So that
Goes
is
out.
information that everyone
From
knows.
so our faces are getting projected onto the TV screens and stuff.
Yeah.
Is there any like quick fixes I can do to our outfits because if it like any of our identities are showing, or are we
So at the
good?
moment, because you specifically, Echo specifically requested that you guys get masks, very much in
We've got
the
snake masks.
old Solarian like wrestler style masks. You are all currently wearing full face. So because this is the template that they had, it was probably at one point like a full face like hood that has now been reworked to like a luchador style mask with like snakeskin style covering.
Cool.
But yeah, absolutely.
I'm ready to rock and roll.
The one thing I will say is, Gibbs,
Oh.
you do stand out in a way that a lot of other people don't because you have this huge bottle. And so there are very few Yosoki, with the exception of maybe one chef in Ars Bay, that are quite so rotund, for what it's worth.
I imagine on the back of my little tail, I've added like little maracas that make like the as my tail wiggles, and that's gonna be so distracting, no one's gonna notice. Okay?
Oh man, the chaos. So yeah, you took like a bunch of empty med containers out of the med bay that you just always keep with you. You filled it up with a bunch of ball bearings and other stuff that probably were spare from some machine, and you just shake it every now and then to imitate a rattlesnake. Fantastic. Is anybody else modifying their armor or equipment in any way?
Does it feel like it's adequately preventing my identity?
Yeah, I would say looking up it does. For most of you, because you don't have any like super obvious physical changes aside from Bubs, who's covered with this mask, pretty easy to blend in.
Cool. Then I don't really care.
Okay.
I'm gonna make my glamour suit like as shiny as possible.
Okay. So in this darkness, ding, 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 just
Oh, it's
sparkles.
dark in here?
It because of like the
Stage
lights that are the
Yeah.
spotlights that are now
Okay,
on.
yeah.
The house lights are down, and so you would imagine like there are like little strobes and little elements of
I'm
like
trying to
red
be
and
as
purple
reflective as
lasers.
possible.
Sure, and so it reflects the little red and purple lasers, which give you almost like this disco ball effect around the edges of the floor. No problem. You can hear the announcer who just begins to call out, and so you are all entering. If you want to place yourselves, or you're going to begin.
Spice and I have to be together.
Yes, you are handcuffed
Do you
together.
want to be right here?
Up to you.
All right.
I'll give you.
And then everyone
You
else.
take a lead.
Echo, where do you want to be on? Right.
I'll be at the other end, yeah.
Right. Bubs and Shade. Front and center.
I guess that's fine.
I'm gonna be
Yeah, you can move yourself.
I wanna be right
Oh, okay.
here.
Oh,
Do you want to move?
you should probably be closer.
You should
Since
maybe
you're
be
like-
Is this her
closer.
right here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're the beef of this sandwich.
I need
What are?
space to move.
Can I willingly throw my initiative to be in line with Spice's? Can we take initiative together?
I will say yes. That just also makes it easier.
You're welcome.
So yeah, absolutely,
My
no problem.
huge
Can
initiative
I,
boost.
Float in the air by say about 5 feet.
Yeah. So no problem. And even as you do, you see again the wings kind of like buzz, and definitely takes note of that. She seems almost focused on you with the dazzling, sparkly lights on the wings, definitely making a good impression for trying to draw the attention.
Probe with the exocortex. Is this cybernetic? That is like.
Make a computer
Am I
check.
able to make any sort of connection to this or to the system? Of
Make
the...
a computer check.
As we sort of shuffle out, can I eye her up and see, is she out for blood? Are we good?
Make a sense motive check.
Oh wow.
Very nice.
Nice.
Shade, you're not sure what it is, but in this moment, as you look out and everything kind of dies down, the announcer before was saying, "The moment you've all been waiting for, our rating cheer," and it like all slows down, and you can just see the both of the lasers seem to connect down into this conduit that goes under the floor. It's been covered with mats so that people don't trip over it, but you can see where it traces down and goes to the floor and then back into the walls. And so you'd imagine controlled by the same computer. It's different than the systems that might function with this individual, though. So which one are you really going for here?
I think I'll go for the. It feels icky to go into someone's cybernetics like that, so I'm gonna go into the statues.
What I'll say is, as you kind of rush across, there are no cybernetics on her, and so you just kind of don't find anything. And then onto that, you find all that computer stuff, and you can tell there is a firewall, probably a firewire down there somewhere, but a firewall. There is a false shell. There is an electrified grid, but not one like, what was your computer's check?
Natural 20.
Yeah, so not one like that you've probably seen in person. You've heard about these in theory. These use cameras, and so already that, like seeing all like the screens and everything, there are cameras on you right now. They use cameras to target the shock, and so as long as you are standing somewhere on the grid, which looking down at the stone, there are little filaments of metal that run through it. It can target the shock towards you. So likely not something that, unless you're very confident, you want to attempt to hack. And yeah, that's what you would find. The same system that controls these lasers controls the cameras. It controls an additional 2 lasers, which you can see in those kind of copper-looking pillars. Yeah, on both of those, there are 2 lasers, although these are a little bit more powerful, and interestingly, they're mounted in such a way to provide coverage across the entire upper deck. And unclear as to why that would be, but would be devastating in an enclosed space. Like a Gatling gun almost, but lasers.
And it's aimed at the upper deck.
It's just aimed so like both of those could sweep across and like clear this whole deck.
Can
if
you
they
share that
needed to.
information?
Yeah, I think, can I basically just broadcast like the little 3D thing showing like from here it's got the little like wire that goes down to the system and then like all the little nodes that connect all the other little systems.
So Shade sends you this quick little map that goes, and it's very, very rudimentary, but in like the 2250 version of MS Paint, you can do a very quick 3-dimensional sort of thing, not a sponsor. Or I don't think it exists anymore. Kid pics. You're able to create a really quick 3-dimensional.
Well, I can
map.
also just broadcast my like exocortexes because I have camera and
I would say
video system, right?
yeah, but the way that you're visualizing the data. And so everybody else would just get data, which is going to look like nothing.
Right. So I have to like
Echo can kind
process
of
that
interpret
into-
it, but it's different. The way that Echo interprets data is very different than how you do.
Right.
Shade also mentioned in the information that he got, that he shared, that the wings were not technological, correct?
That the wings were
They
not
were
cybernetic.
That doesn't mean that they're not technological.
It means they're not integrated into her like living being.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just make note of that.
So thinking about cybernetics, looking at Spice's eyes in the dark that kind of glow ever so slightly, those are cybernetic. They're like implanted in and integrated into the actual flesh.
Most of
This is just armor.
Yeah.
27 for Out for Blood.
You look over
Sense
and
motive?
she smiles, and I think
I wave shyly.
Okay, so if you wave, at first very much focused on Bubs, but then she shifts over. You can see the eyes dart over to Bubs again, and she says, "Oh, a few of you are kind of cute. It's too bad I'll have to rough you up so much. But please try to put up at least a little bit of a fight, just for the looky-loos, okay?"
Yeah, I think while Gibbs is like posing, Spice
Not a
is
rat.
also going up to the crowd and like running around like as the crowd is up there and like giving everybody high fives and like snarling and trying to be scary and making a show of it.
Yeah, fantastic.
Bubs.
Go ahead, make a
Perform? No, not.
it's not called performance here. It is called
Diplomacy?
Don't mind if I-
You know what? Yeah, let's call it. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Diplomacy. Go for diplomacy.
That or,
Got it.
that or
Don't
bluff,
mind
I
if
guess.
I do.
No, because it's definitely diplomacy.
-2 because you're towing Gibbs.
Gibbs, you walk up, and as she just kind of like says this, really nice to you.
Wow.
She doesn't really sound like she's out for blood. She seems like she's pretty much just like she's in a pretty good mood.
Yeah.
She's like happy to be here. She looks you guys over, and as she says this, the way that she speaks, she's not concerned about losing to any of you.
Nice.
She hasn't asked you to lose or anything like that. And also looking at her weapons and everything, they're not blunted or in any way like safetied, and neither are yours. What?
Right.
So Spice is running around,
Oh, geez.
getting the crowd riled up. I rolled a 38.
So Gibbs is 2 though.
Yeah, Gibbs is too.
I'm running around too.
So you go, so you just go like she's like for the looky loos, and you go, huh, you get yanked away bodily. Yeah, no problem. So yeah, Spice is just lugging you along.
Cobra!
I'm gonna say to her after that banter. Oh, so you're a talker too? I hope your mouth can cash that check.
Who? What?
The lady.
Okay. So the crowd cheers and like
KBQ.
Spice begins to run around. As you yell that out, slowly at first, you can just hear Castrovel, and they don't seem to hear the whole thing, but at the very least, you get out this chant, and it's a very small group. There are a ton of people who are wearing Katydid Queen costumes, and they're like the kinds that are, like the t-shirts with like a woman wearing bikini and it's like the
Yeah.
whole body. It's like
yeah.
that. It's like a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's people who are wearing like the kind of like if you've ever seen the diva cosplayers who have like the one piece kind of thing. It's all these like very rudimentary costumes, but she has a lot of fans, and so even with that, you don't get a huge reaction, but you have something, a little support.
I'm going to glimmer project myself to do like a YMCA P.
Okay.
because I'm the mighty bee.
You are the mighty bee. Okay, so
YMCA.
once again, just
we see,
completely
because
trying
we're
to
the
blend your
Castro Valley
coverages
Pogos.
together and really trying to cross them over. Despite having just given an interview saying that you, Bubs, were not Adam Price, you were not any of these things, you were to be called the Mighty Bee. You, part of the Castroval Cobras, are now going to make a big bee and not at all blow your cover. Can you go ahead and make a diplomacy check, please?
You
Well, it's just like
dingus.
this. That doesn't mean anything. Anyone could just see it. It's just a bee.
Well, then
could
Spice
be
starts
hard.
going,
Yeah.
see.
I do a C2, and then together we're casting.
Oh, that's a natural 20.
Fantastic. Everyone
That's
knows.
two.
So,
Hey, that's Bob's from Mosaic.
in this moment, you're like, you're a talker too, and you hear unexpectedly your voice projected slightly on like the screens, and the spotlight over to you, and you this bee.
I'm like flexing when I'm doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like a Macho Man Randy Savage.
No
kinda
problem. As you do that, even on the microphones, even though it barely picks you up, you can hear the of like you flexing, and you can hear the announcer behind you go, "Oh, that's a mighty bee, folks!" And like people begin to cheer, and now you can hear just like bee, bee, and like the Castroval chants off on one side, but still a lot of the Katydid Queen. And there are a lot of people who you can hear just making this dull buzz noise, which is maybe her kind of. You can hear it kind of similar to the wings. But yeah, you say that you make this big bee. She smiles and she says, "That's the spirit. I'll try to not hurt you too bad." And she like buzzes up and instantly just like 5 feet up in the air, matching your height, Bubs.
Do you mind if I move us?
No, please.
Just running around.
Yeah, we're like around the laugh, like doing laughs.
You're taller than Gibbs, and so Gibbs's legs like every now and then leave the ground, and then it's like
I imagine I'm on my Heelys like the whole time, and there's just like a little track of like Heely dirt.
yeah, no, fantastic, yeah.
Yeah.
So just every now and then, like a plane touching down, just no problem. The announcer finally, after the crowd dies down a little bit from the chants of B and Castroval, says, "Everybody knows the rules. You've paid the ticket price, and you know there is no liability, but we remind folks, please do not discharge any weapons into the arena." And there's like a dull series of boos and things like that. In this moment, there's a brief whir, and you can see the rotary cannons in the very end kind of like whir to life a little bit, and the boos die down. And maybe that's what those cannons are for. You can see suddenly all the screens, and it's just like the overlay now where the screens have floated together to create one big viewing screen, and it's just this projected arena. You can see all of yourselves, you can see Bubbles making this bee, and you can see the Katydid Queen floating just a little bit over there. Suddenly, you can see these 3 little lights just light up, all red, and then goes down to 2. Are you guys doing anything before that ticks down to 1, and then perhaps you start?
Combat tracking on the Katydid Queen.
Okay, so you turn on combat tracking.
I just start to salivate.
Yeah, Spice is like,
And I guess I'm gonna take out my net gun
Okay.
to start.
oh yeah, yeah, so I don't have to use a
And-
move action.
Yeah, I'm
Draw.
gonna basically get ready to, as soon as the timer ends, try and shoot her with the net gun to inhibit her movement.
Okay. So all of you begin to draw weapons. You draw your...
Echo's got a knife, and then just kind of like slinks to the side a little bit.
I pull out my reality pistol with my accurate mod on it.
I put
Fantastic.
my Dothco with my return fusion.
Fantastic. So all of you bring out these weapons, each of them slightly more snake-like in appearance than previously. And so the Dothco, those 2 tines are just huge fangs that come out of a snake's head. You can see for the knife that you have, it is just this elongated, like a snake that is striking, and then where the what's it called? Whatever the tip of a blade is called, probably just the tip of the blade. It's almost like acid that is being spit out from the throat. For each of you, you have these stylized weapons, but very much function exactly as yours did before. You would imagine that going forward, you can choose between either one. You'll probably be allowed to keep these because they're very much your weapons. But anything else that people want to do before they get started?
Can I cast a hold detect thoughts?
You can hold that to you want to like cast it right as things start.
Yeah, I think we all have like actions as things start, but
Okay.
I'm gonna put
So,
my
Beep, beep, beep.
scent sleeve canister in my pocket. I'm just gonna have it ready in case she does some kind of elemental thing.
Okay. Very cool.
if she goes to do it before the countdown, I'm gonna do it before the countdown too, though. Because if she's gonna cheat, I'm gonna cheat.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put on fire resistance because
Okay.
the lasers are fire.
So you just
Yeah.
we can just spray fire resistance. You're like, oh, I know the rules, but I'm gonna break them. No problem. You get ready for that. You see that final light tick down, and just one light is lit. And in that brief moment, you can see it's like there's a flutter, and suddenly she's holding these two weapons, both of which look like these elongated, almost grown crystal pistols. And you can see in the very center of them, I would say, Bubbles.
I love that. I love
You've
that.
actually seen, I think Jade had one of these displayed in her office. This is an elvish weapon. This is a moon splinter pistol, and something that grows this organic shard of magical wood that resonates and can be fired with a battery to simulate what happens in nature to project this out to protect the tree. And so it is this semi-magical, just right on the cusp of being magical weapon. They're incredibly rare, and suddenly she's holding two. The timer ticks down, the lights flare across, and everybody can roll for initiative.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay.
Kara, we'll be on the same beat.
We have a 20.
My -3.
Fuck yeah,
So
better than I could have gotten.
I didn't know how good it is.
Even if I rolled in at 20, I wouldn't have gotten that.
Yeah, no,
Whew, that's rough.
damn, I still beat you.
All right, let's see what she's
by
got.
much.
Initiative bonus. Ooh. Okay. Anybody natural 20?
Nah, I used mine already.
Alrighty. Anybody 25 to 20?
24 for Spice and Gives.
Nice.
For spice.
And I'm gonna
And
let
then we'll
Spice go
say,
first.
I'll say, yeah, for like
Yeah.
tie-breaking purposes, I think
Yes.
that makes the most sense because spice is taller and thus is the movement.
Yes,
Um,
agreed.
That is 20 to 15. Ooh,
Yikes.
15 to 10.
12.
12 for Shade.
Guys.
You said 11?
Yeah.
11 for Bubs. And then Echo, are you going to join us at some point?
Echo just is kind of like trying to figure out how this knife works. Because I rolled a natural 1, which means I get an 8.
Ooh, 8. Okay. So yeah, Echo, like as you begin to slink around the sides, in this moment where you would normally like flick the knife to life and it would blur into a mirage, you press where the button is and it's not on the side that it's supposed to be. And so
It's
you
like
just kind of yeah, it's a little different. So you're just tapping the batteries. And when you look up, people are already just like blurring into motion. But the way that this works out, the Katydid Queen is going first with a 28.
Dang.
Followed by Spice and Gibbs at 24, then Shade at 12, Bubs at 11, and Echo all the way in the distance at 8. If anything should require the people in the arena to move for some reason, they will go at initiative 0. And if for some reason the arena should have to move, it will go at initiative 20.
Oh, the lasers.
So
Lasers.
that is how that shakes out. Let me pull up the combat camera. We are going to start with the Katydid Queen. So, the first thing that she's going to do, well, since you guys all had your prepared action, she's just going to perception check you all real quick. And seeing Echo struggling with this knife, suddenly these wings, and she lifts up about 15 feet off the ground. Give me 1 second. No. She lifts up to the very height that she can possibly be at, all the way up to 20 feet. She is now standing.
Opportunity.
Give me 1 second. So she's already standing up there. Go ahead and make your attack of opportunity if you want.
That is a 12 plus. Plus 12, so 24.
Against.
I'll use the piercing for this attack, so it's piercing, so
KAC.
KAC.
That is a miss. And so you swing, and almost immediately she goes off to the side, and yeah, not quite enough to hit her. And she turns, and as she does, as you swing, it's not so much she dodges. You can see she turns around and she moves so that her body just barely misses this, and she like slides across, and there's a ting of sparks as it just barely glances off this element of armor, and she off to the side, almost corkscrewing a little bit as she turns and just rises right over where Echo is.
I can't do attack opportunities anyways, but I missed anyways. So it doesn't matter.
Really rough. So that's going to pull your reaction. But if you could place her right over where Echo is. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. That's 25 feet of movement. And then Echo, from right above you, you can see she levels these two pistols, and she's going to fire twice.
No.
What is
Bye,
her height?
Echo.
She is at 20 feet.
Peace.
Echo does a 25 hit.
Yes.
Okay, so both are going to hit because 25 is the lowest. The other one is 28. And so as she fires, you hear this high resonance, almost like the sound that you would hear in your ears as your teeth are drilled at the dentist. It is this like violent as it's pointed at you. Nobody else hears it, so it's hyper focused. And Echo, you are going to take... Ooh, I need more D6s. I got it.
All right.
Echo, you are going to be taking 31 points of damage from the first,
Yeah.
and 30 points of damage from the second. All fire for what it's worth. These strike out, and as they do, you see from the muzzle of these organic, magical-looking pistols, there is these bursts of like little shards that look like glass that splinter out, and you would imagine if you were really close when she fired, there were also additional effects that would be involved. And then, at the very end of that, she moves again, and if you could move her all the way behind the pillar, the other pillar.
Jesus, she has so much movement.
And then
We
just
knew
like
that,
here, you can see this gentleman who's holding his drink up, the drink in a styrofoam cup, right out of his hand. People's like clothing is flapping in this breeze, but she turns, and you can see just this, from all of that, there's just this single little mark from where Bubs just barely missed. But that is her turn. That brings us to Spice and Gibbs. Spice, what do you want to do?
Spice is going to continue. I'm moving us.
Okay. We're behind there.
Yeah.
And so for what it's worth, it's not going to take away from Spice's movement, but this is using your movement as well.
Okay.
Towards
kinda
Echo.
Hold
I
along.
guess we'll move here and continue to detect thoughts.
A
Okay.
large tote bag held on by a
So
carabiner.
you detect thoughts, and instantly you are almost overwhelmed. I mean, not only are there tons of people here, you are underneath an entire brothel and casino, and so there are hundreds, if not thousands of people, and so you detect thoughts, and there are many. There are hundreds, there are thousands, and instantly it is a cacophony. But that is going. That is your turn, Spice?
Yep, that's my whole turn.
All right, Gibbs. Spice runs, and you are lugged behind. What are you doing?
I lug, and then I see all of the kind of chirping lifelinks, and I see Echoes goes red for a second.
For a second.
So I lifelink with her
Stays
as a
red.
free action. You get a plus 7, and I take 7. That's a free action. I'm still not convinced I want to spend any spell slots on this, so I will level fucking gun at her and
Okay.
shoot a gun.
Yeah, make your attack roll.
I don't think I can hit her unless I get nat 20. I don't hit her.
What was that roll?
It was a 6 plus 5 is
11.
Yeah, I'm not good. I barely use this weapon. I'm surprised I haven't stabbed myself yet with it.
Hey, at least there's no natural one hitting me.
Pull the weapon out and you fire. And as you do, you fire like before you even get it fully out. And so it right by, like kind of bounces off the wall and ricochets and goes nowhere. Anything else, Gibbs?
How hurt is Echo? Is Echo very hurt?
Echo's not looking great.
Echo is bleeding profusely. There's like shards of glass sticking out. If one were to put a number on it, it might be about 50% of the health remaining.
Okay. Can't do anything about it now, but you get plus 6 or plus 7.
There you go.
And
so
that's why I'm at 50%, not lower.
that is your turn, Gibbs. That brings us to the arena. As the Katydid Queen, 20 feet up in the air, For those of you who are close to the corners, you can hear all these lasers and turrets like shift and move, and they are tracking as this person gets right to the height, but they're not firing. That is the arena's turn. That brings us to Shade, followed by Bubs, followed by Echo. Shade, what would you like to do?
Cool. With my combat tracking, do I have a shot from here with the pillar in the way?
With combat tracking, no, I don't. Well, combat tracking doesn't really.
No, but I'm
matter
just
here.
wondering.
Yeah, you have a
Yeah,
shot.
just- okay.
It's full cover, absolutely.
Okay. Didn't want to have to use my movement, but I guess I'm just gonna take. Actually, I'm gonna ready my action to take a shot once she removes herself from cover and makes her next move. Essentially.
Okay, no problem. So you level this gun and you wait. The targeting reticle is on the pillar, and so you know that she's there, but you're waiting for her to go to either side.
Yeah.
No problem.
I'm gonna take my opportune shot.
So Shade, you start camping. Bubs, what do you want to do?
I'm going to full action. Actually, no. Standard action. Throw my Dothko at her,
Nice.
and
yeah, go
I'm
for
going
it.
to scream. I like those little fairy wings you got on. That is a 4 plus 12.
You say, and then you wing this, and you know what? With those like little elements of like fangs and the hood of this cobra, it's just a little bit weighted different, and so you. And it's like she can see it coming, and she times it perfectly to just be able to like slam it down with her hands, and it just. It slams into the ground before it back into your hands. Anything else, Bubs?
Bubs just thinks, why isn't this working?
There you go. Echo, what would you like to do? You are hurting, but you are up.
Quick question.
Yeah.
The wings aren't activated by a button, correct?
Doesn't seem to be.
All right.
But they were out when you got down.
Right. Echo's going to move as close as they can.
Okay.
Can someone count the squares for me? I can't
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
see. All right. Poor man has fallen into the pit, and he is now
Oh.
damage.
Someone carts him off.
You hear the legs break. No, he's fine.
It's only like a 15-foot drop.
Yeah, they're kind of close.
It's 20.
If he's drunk, he'll be fine.
What are the rules for throwing a dagger?
It's a thrown weapon. So do you have thrown weapon proficiency? I think you do. You're an operative.
I am an operative.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's also your strength modifier,
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have proficiency in it.
which is what I like about this game.
It's
Really?
advanced and basic melee, small arm, and sniper.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh, huh, huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think that might be
Yeah, I have everything.
the level that we could get if we
I
slept.
have everything.
So what are you doing, Echo?
But yeah. No.
Well, that ruined my plan.
I have everything.
And then I definitely put the grenades in the locker.
Absolutely.
What
Okay.
you doing, Echo?
Punch her in the face.
How?
She's in the air because she's a pixie.
Echo's going to. Does Echo see like dust hanging around?
Yeah, I would say absolutely.
Echo's going to cast Psychokinetic Hand
Okay.
and try and fling dust up at her.
Yes.
Okay. Make a with psychokinetic hand. I'm gonna say make a what comes to
Bluff
mind is a
check?
mysticism check.
That's
yeah.
where I'm going to.
Yeah.
Well within the rules that we've established.
How do you tell him?
Oh no! Echo, that's
You
the
just-
second time.
Throw sand in your own eyes.
Petadale gribble.
You blinded
Clinical
yourself.
eyes.
Pocket sand. The wind blows it right
So
back.
was it a natural one?
It was.
Hardrick.
It's a
How
natural one.
how close are you to her?
Not at all.
She's
Well,
like,
Oh, wait,
are you
just
within
30.
25 feet?
yeah, because
20
she's
feet
only
up,
20 feet
25?
up. Yeah, she's good.
Fantastic.
Oh, brother Echo.
So as you fire and there is a critical miss, she is going to use the feature Queen's Riposte. She's going to get a free attack on you.
Oh, wow, if Echo wasn't going now.
She turns, and this is only going to be a 16 to hit. Pretty much the lowest that she could roll.
Echo has the presence of mind to get the fuck out of the way.
Oh,
Okay,
Jesus.
there you go. So you, and with the psychokinetic hand, you throw dust and you watch as it ting, 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 ting into her face, and she goes, nice, and pulls the pistol out and fires. You hear like the high-pitched moan, and then it zoom right down. And as you dive out of the way, the stone is almost completely penetrated, and the stone splits. But that is your turn, Echo? Mm-hmm. Alrighty. You are right at her feet, and she is still looking right at you. It is the crowd's turn. They cheer, they roar. There is a chant now for the Katydid Queen, who has taken the upper hand against Echo here. On the screens, you can see now Echo and Katydid Queen heavily featured. This is like the thing that is on the camera here. But that
Got
is...
the cinematic shot.
Yeah, that is the round that goes to the top of the round. Shade, she never made herself visible.
It's on her turn.
Yeah.
Right.
It's on his turn.
Yeah, it's up until my next turn.
I got you. Okay. So for the Katydid Queen, that's going to bring us to hers. With Echo still down there and having just placed herself in a place where the Katydid Queen doesn't have to move, she's going to take a full attack.
No.
And she's going to take 3.
Bye, y'all.
She's level high.
Echo. So,
Hi.
well, okay. So
I think.
that is an 18 to hit.
No,
It's like funny Jimmy Cole.
That is a 25 to hit.
25 does.
Okay. So the other one is definitely going to hit at a 31. So, Echo, for the first, you are taking low damage rolls. The first ones are pretty good damage rolls, I'll say.
Okay.
You are taking 25 points of fire damage.
And down.
Oh, very unfortunate. So she fires. The second one is going to be 30 points flat of fire damage.
So, Joe,
Yeah.
if one is down
Yes.
and one takes 30 points of fire damage when they're already at 0,
Yeah.
what do?
What do? I think you go to like, there's negative life here, but hang on 1 second here.
Damage
Are we
went
into
down.
permadeath?
We're getting close there.
I'm not far.
Um,
Where is the dying token? I didn't make it because I was like,
learn the Starfinder real quick, yeah.
Yikes. Bleak.
there it
Okay,
is.
So, while dying, you lose 1 resolve point per round. No matter how many hit points you lose, you aren't hindered until your hit points drops to 0. Alright.
If you take damage equal to or greater than a maximum hit points from a single attack, you also die instantly.
Okay.
Have you done
so
that?
You're still,
No.
You're
Okay.
still up.
The number to kill me is 46.
There you go. So at the moment, you are still alive, but you watch as Echo drops to the ground, slams, and then the eyes, the blue, just flickers and powers out. And then again, another shot, and this goes straight into the torso. The snake scales kind of split open, and you can all see the red jumpsuit underneath. You can see elements of the hair that go out as the helmet cracks open from behind. You can see she looks almost a little bit disappointed, but then she turns and she is going to move. Let's see, where's Gibbs? Oh, Gibbs and Spice over there.
We're
She's
hiding.
gonna go all the way over.
I attack.
Go ahead, make your shot.
Nice.
And other side. Yeah.
I miss.
What was that?
It was bad.
Okay. You fired the net right to the side, completely missing her. It doesn't even get to her altitude before she's already over by Gibbs. And you can see the weapons start whining as they charge up their next shot. But that is her full turn. That brings us to Spice and Gibbs. Spice and Gibbs. Right above you is the Katydid Queen. You can see the long dress like flapping with the wind from her wings. You can see these pistols glowing. What do you want to do?
Spice is going to. What? I don't know why you're shaking your head.
I'm dead. Dying.
It's a glitch.
Yeah. It's the.
I don't think I can't give you HP. I can only give you SP, and that's not gonna help you. So.
Do your turn.
Okay, I'm
What are you
going to look at her, go, oh shit, Echo, and be like, Gibbs,
Okay.
You gotta drag us.
And then Gibbs overclocks her roller skates,
Fantastic.
gets the 40 feet of movement. That's exactly what I need to get to. But I do this in a way where it's like my wheels are turning and it's like, because I know she wants a show. So I'm like, oh no, you're there. And I'm gonna like skitter and dragging.
So this is
Spice.
this is the Harlem Globetrotters meets
Yeah.
roller derby here. Make a performance check. This is for free.
Cool. That one! No!
Okay. It's for free, and so you're not gonna fall or anything, but you overfall and you immediately,
at
your
the
gravity
Rolodex.
shifts, the bottle's really heavy. You have like Spice, for all intents and purposes, basically on your back.
Yeah.
And so you almost all the way back, you feel your hips and back crack in a way that you know, like you will need some medical attention probably in the future, but you just right yourself. A few people boo, somebody goes, and you can just hear it over the crowd.
Damn it,
But,
Gibbs.
yeah, not quite hitting home.
That's okay.
But you and arrive over at the down decker.
That's our collective movement. So now it's what's the rest of Spice's turn?
Okay.
I'm gonna, while she's on Gibbs's back, she's going to turn around, and so Gibbs is running forward, and Spice is like facing backwards on her
Fucking
shoulder,
banjo
and
Phenomenal.
just the sniper at her.
Okay, take a -2 conditional modifier only because you're firing from the back of a
Yusoki who fell on in that one.
who is and also is using Heelys, not any kind of like conventional locomotive.
So if this isn't prime entertainment, I don't know what is.
No, there's no performance check needed for this.
my God.
Wait, so I rolled my third 18 of the game,
Damn,
everybody.
okay.
So -2 is 16 plus 5 is 21 to hit.
That is a miss, unfortunately.
That would have
So
been
you
dope.
move on the back, fire, and you line this up, and you just as you're about to fire, you hear Gibbs go, whoa, and you hear as Gibbs' back cracks, and you fire wide, and the bullet you can see turns and curves, but just not enough.
What if
and
I
poof,
get
into the
guided?
distance.
It's too late.
Too late.
Fuck. I
And
missed
so
my chance.
you just missed, unfortunately. But you get the sense that, yeah, you would have been real close, and you probably could have guided it. So, anything else, Spice and Gibbs?
Yes.
Yes.
So that was Spice's turn and our
Yes.
movement. Gibbs is going to lifelink at the start of the turn, give 7 HP back to Echo. So as like the lifelink in Gibbs's mind gets like shorter and shorter and shorter, the rubber band of our souls pulling us together, Gibbs will like skitter kind of like face planting to touch you and will standard action healing channel you, which means I'm spending a resolve point to give you 68.
A million.
68
Billion
HP.
D8.
Okay, and to confirm, so I have negative health right now, yes?
Until I can like look it up because I don't. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do just to make it a little easier. Then we'll.
Okay.
If somebody wants to look it up while it's not their turn, please go ahead.
Was it
So 7
the
plus
death
whatever's in my hand is your total HP
Yeah.
for this turn.
It goes down until you get to the
Gotcha.
18.
negative of your max, I think.
Yeah, there you go. So that's what we'll go with for now.
I think that's what it is.
23.
Are you sure? Are you looking?
23, 26,
10,
10, 18, 23,
27.
27, 30 plus 7.
I can make a perception check.
Why now?
Probably because you're dying.
That's a 32.
Nice. Okay.
Oh no, it's resolved.
So as this like energy floods back into you, you can just hear as like the power begins to come back and your eyes flicker back to life. You hear the dun dun dun, and then you hear "Wake up, courier! Come, solar wind, asteroid rain, the echo unit," and then you can hear just underneath it. It's like there's something else, and you hear a string of numbers, and it is a lot. So much so that it seems like a code of data, and you probably want to put that aside and look at that later. But you can add a string of data to your inventory, and you can mark it Pallades Rock.
And as Gibbs floods your soul with her healing, Gibbs actually starts to look pretty bad herself, having lost a lot of SP to the snake, and now having spent a lot of HP to try and keep her friends alive. So Gibbs starts to sort of bleed from the nose, and like you can see under the mask, it's starting to crust around her mouth as it mixes with her general saliva.
There you go. So healing is definitely taking a toll on Gibbs, but that is the turn. That brings us to this arena. And just as soon as you can hear the announcer just go, "Oh, that looks like it hurts, folks," suddenly there's the and you can hear, "Is that Yosoki on rollerblades?" And then there's like the fire of the pistol, and you can hear the crowd like cheer and then moan as there's a miss. There's all kinds of things that are happening. But in this moment, that is the arena's turn. Shade, what would you like to do? Then Bubs, then Echo.
So I still don't have a shot, huh?
It's like she's trying to avoid you.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna. Wow, it would be really nice to be able to break up my movement speed right now.
It would be, huh? It's pretty dope.
I'm gonna
Battle flower training.
take my action to try and shoot the second of 2 shots, even though it's full cover. Just hoping for a natural 20.
Yeah, go for it.
Nope, that's a natural 1. I'm dropping the weapon because I was done with it anyway.
Okay. So behind this individual, you can see you fire and it's like perfectly level. And as she is looking down, she is tracking Shade and Gibbs who away, and she is like following with the pistol. Out of the corner of her eye, she sees the net streaking towards her. She grabs it from the center, and you hear the wings flutter as she flings it around behind her. And you see this guy who's just like, "Yeah, Katydid," and takes him and just knocks him against the wall.
He's taking damage.
Oh yeah, like unconscious. You don't have to roll for damage. He's down. The net goes down. There is a thunderous cheer and roars, and you watch as somebody just upends their beer on the guy who is unconscious.
Dude's getting electrocuted.
People begin to like close. Is he really?
Yeah,
roll damage for it. Actually,
it's a shock weapon.
roll
now.
damage. Actually, that's right. Oh man,
Yeah, he's taking 3d4 plus 8.
killing bystanders. Shade.
This is the second time we've killed a bystander.
Okay, in fairness, it was a redirected shot.
Yeah, it's Katydid who did it.
Oh, but I did a lot of damage. That's 16.
Oh God.
He's not dead, but as he goes down, the person dumps the beer, and there is a brief fire. There is like a bit of alarm from the corner before somebody takes out a fire extinguisher and down, and there is still just this loud cheer going around, but a miss, unfortunately.
Cool. Free action, drop the rifle.
Okay.
I'm gonna move action, take out my pistol, and quick action, activate my arm blade.
Okay. And you yank the pistol out from this kind of collapsing area. Anything else that you're doing?
That's my move action, my action, and I'm keeping combat tracking on. So
Okay. Bubs, what would you like to do? Echo, you're on deck.
Bubs is gonna just say "fuck this," and he's gonna fly up, move 5,
say it, you're
10,
mic'd.
15, and then 15 feet in the air. She's 20, so I can hit her.
nice.
And Bubs is gonna go, "You're no queen. You're more of a princess."
Bubs, make an athletics check. As you do that, you can see she turns, and these light wings become much brighter. Ooh.
Oh no.
She's
That
gonna
is
go
a
fucking
17.
A
Galadriel
17,
on your
you,
ass.
and then all of a sudden, right behind you, everybody else can see the pebbles on the ground begin to across, and there is this distortion of space as this gravity pulls and yanks you 15 feet back. Anybody else within 15 feet is pulled towards that center point, right at Bubs' feet. So I believe that is that
15
Echo?
feet?
Yeah.
From the ground, yeah.
Okay, so yeah. Echo, you are pulled in as well. Or actually, make an athletics check because you are.
No,
Echo's
I'm
not.
I'm like all the way.
Oh,
over
sorry.
The girls are all good.
Who is over there? Oh, Shade. Sorry, it was Shade.
It's Shade.
Yeah.
So just-
Do I make an
As I'm, like-
athletics check or?
Yeah, if you're within 15 feet, yeah.
As I'm falling back, I'm just gonna with my arm that I'm reaching with the Dothko, I'm gonna just throw it.
Yeah, make
across
your
it.
attack roll. Absolutely.
Athletics
Standard
check
attack.
or save?
Athletics check. This is against a gravity pull, so it's competing against the
It's a
gravity.
12 again, so 24. It's a miss.
Yeah.
4.
With a 24, as this pulls, you see in this distortion the same thing that you see when you've used the gravity pistol, and so you can tell what's coming, and you like skid aside. The combat tracking is lost for a second, but you reestablish it. No problem.
So
You're
do we
okay.
get pulled?
You don't move.
I'm gonna just also free action calm to my group. Is there anything you guys can do to help me with this?
Okay, no problem. That is your free action. That is your turn. Bubs, Echo, what would you like to do? You watch as Bubs and Shade are just grounded.
So is this an active gravity field?
No, it's like a pulse.
Okay. Climbing rules for Starfinder.
Yeah.
Can I climb that?
Do you have a climb speed?
No.
Yeah, but it's an athletics check, and that'll determine, I think, how far you go, at least for now.
So I'm gonna try it.
Go for it. Yeah.
I'm also no longer. I just really want to fling the crowd in.
Can
Promo in
There's a
there.
correction on damage rules.
Yeah.
So if you take damage, it doesn't actually matter unless you take more than your HP. Otherwise, you reach 0.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Oh, sweet. So I'm at 37.
Yeah.
There you
Oh,
go.
nice.
Oh, that's important. Good.
Cool. All
Thank
right.
you for the
Right, because there's the result. You lose resolve points.
She
when you're
loses
dying.
resolve points if I didn't stabilize her. She would have lost
Right,
on her
if you're-
turn.
Yeah, make an athletics check.
But otherwise, she's good.
I don't understand. But
It's
I'll send
different.
a screenshot of it.
Dirty 30.
Dirty 30. Yeah, no problem. You leap.
Nice.
And not even climbing it, it's really like you run up and your momentum carries you up. Now that goes straight to the ceiling, so you can't settle on top.
But for,
If that's what you're trying
But
to
for
do.
like keeping the mini on the
Yeah.
I see what
pillar.
you're saying. I got you, yeah. So you run up, and right at the 20 foot, the momentum carries you so that you're just beginning to fall away. What are you doing in that like zero gravity moment? Yeah, make your attack roll. Love it.
I
Someone's
love
got to
this.
draw.
You can see
that.
as you're
That was
like
a cool
running up
moment.
this pillar, she turns, and for the first moment, she looks just a little bit concerned because she has already used her reaction and cannot gravity pulse you down.
24.
Against.
Cool. I think it's KOC. Where does one see this?
what kind of weapon is it?
Mirage Dagger.
Yeah.
I believe
Guys, it's mirage damage, obviously.
it might be both, actually.
Just like into her
Where would
belly.
I find
Nice little-
that?
It'll say behind the damage
Really, it's an oasis
letters.
in the
What
desert.
type it is. So it
Oh,
should say
F.
like E.
So that's fire. That would
Yeah,
be against
so
the
that's-
AC. And that just meets it, beats it.
Wow!
So go ahead and
What was
make your
that?
attack roll as you run
It's
across
not gonna
this
be a lot of
pillar.
damage, but goddammit, I hit!
Right at the very end, you kick off and you use the momentum to bring this Mirage Dagger up, and you hear the as the wings begin to turn her around, but she's not quite quick enough.
3 points of fire damage.
Hey, every bit.
What was the other EAC?
You can see she like turns and she is just fast enough. This would be like a critical hit against anybody else, but she is just fast enough where she pulls and there's just this ding, and like one single drop of blood in the air. The spotlight catches it. All of the cameras like slow-mo this moment. And you can see like the eyes looking down at you. She looks more amused than angry, but no problem. Do you have a fly speed or anything?
I'm falling,
Okay,
man.
so you just fall 20 feet.
Superhero fall!
Phenomenal. You do take 6 points of damage as you do fall and straight on your back, max damage, but no problem.
Okay.
So cool, yeah. For 3 points of fire damage. I should write that down. I
That's
guess.
cool.
Okay, so every bit counts.
Putting in a
Is
good
the crowd
show.
like cool with that? Or
Oh,
they like,
yeah.
oh, that looked
so
awesome?
the crowd absolutely erupts and roars, and as that like slows down, and you can see that moment where there's like the blood and everything. There's like a brief like second where it almost goes silent because this is you have seen around the edge of the arena. There's a few copper statues that are like really, really old and corroded, and one that looks like somebody dressed in more viper or cobra-like attire, so maybe where the arena got its name from. The most recent one, not a lot of people have won, and nobody since her. But this might be one of the very few times that she's really had some kind of damage done. So, yeah, fantastic. That's your turn, Echo?
Yeah.
Okay, so on your back. Even though your back hurts, your spirit feels good.
Am I prone or?
No, you can like climb to your feet, but yeah, it is not a fun fall.
No superhero landing? What's
No superhero landing from 20 feet. The individuals around this arena are like screaming now. The announcer is going wild and just seeing like somebody landed a hit on the Katydid Queen, and like you can barely hear this. The spotlights are now on the Katydid Queen and on Echo, who is like on the ground and like climbing to their feet. But that is the people. They are not running anywhere.
Echo like nonchalantly flicks the blood off of their dagger.
There's none. It was like the tiniest little cut. But
Pretend.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, for sure.
You can
Not
see
gonna
like
bluff
even
check.
on the cameras, it's like they because there's already like sparkling after effects. You could see where people like could definitely see it as being blood. But that is the people that brings us to the Katydid Queen,
The
top of the
queen's
order.
gonna die.
So she turns, and as you like fall, and down to the ground, and you climb, you can hear from above you, I thought I already put you down. I'll get you again later. And just away from you. And she is going to circle around behind Spice.
You come to visit me finally.
She smiles and she says, "Not you." And she fires twice at you,
Oh
Gibbs.
shit!
Can I use Spice's cover?
Take out the healer.
I will offer my body as cover.
So, I mean, do you want to try to dive in front of this and use your reaction to take the damage
I
for
will use
Gibbs?
my reaction, yes.
Okay. Make a reflex saving throw.
Get down, Mr. President.
This is a 28
Madam
to
President,
hit.
go!
It's gonna hit.
I need to roll it.
I can't. You're handcuffed to me.
So, 21.
21. As Gibbs is like healing and skids to a stop and is able to help Echo a little bit, you turn and you can see like the Katydid Queen all the way across the arena says something to Echo and then immediately over there. And as she stops, the wind goes and like your hair blows by you. Gibbs has to like turn away. And as she's about to fire and Gibbs is completely helpless, you throw yourself over and you are going to take the damage for Gibbs.
Ah, okay, here we go.
That is going to be 13, 30 points of fire damage.
Okay.
And then the second one would be a Spice does a 21 hit.
EAC or KAC?
That would be EAC.
Yep.
Alrighty. The second splinter of Moonwood energy hits out, and that is very low damage roll. You are only taking 25 points of fire damage as this into you. And every time that these little shards go in, they splinter and are almost like these molten bits of glass that like sink in before melting away.
So they like seep into Spice's back, I guess, because she'll be forward over Gibbs. And you can just see her skin smoldering, but she slowly leans back up and glares into her eyes.
You can see she just kind of like shrugs and then like is looking on the other side. She is going to around and she is going to end her turn on the other side of the pillar from Spice and Gibbs.
You can break up your movement, bitch.
She can, yeah.
She
It's
can.
her like shit.
That is her turn. That brings us to Spice and Gibbs. Spice and Gibbs, you watch as she behind the pillar.
Shit, she's good.
Is she looking at me or is she not?
You can't tell.
Well, I'm gonna try to catch her attention.
Okay.
I'm going to scream out, "Don't just leave me here! Look at me, bitch!"
Okay. Make a intimidation check.
Okay. Let me scooch this over. Is there intimidation?
Yeah.
Oh yes, I see it. Oh, natural 20.
That's 3 out of 5 of us.
Yeah,
That's real good.
wowza. I have good intimidation for the record.
You yell that out, and as we've already established, there is this slight microphone kind of echo that is being broadcast, so your words audible to the entire crowd. And with that natural 20, it's like it suddenly, like, it's like you are right in the perfect zone where it is like the shotgun mic picking up just your voice, and you just hear, "You bitch, 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 bitch," and it echoes, and the music cuts, and the crowd just goes
Record
silent.
scratch.
And from like, yeah, really very much a record scratch moment. And you just heard, like, just the only thing that you can hear is the announcer just, and you hear the wings behind go from to, and you get the sense that that was probably more effective than you wanted it to be.
Good. All right. So these are my last words.
You bitch.
Yeah. Rip, Spike, rip, you bitch. So with her action, she's going to, as she like leans up from Gibbs's body, her skin smoldering from these pieces, she's going to look into her eyes, and you can see on the camera, you can see her psychoactive eyes dilate a little, and she's going to activate them. Activate her psychoactive eyes.
Okay.
So she
Very
has to
nice.
make a will save.
So does she have to be able to see you for that to
Yes.
happen? She cannot currently see you.
Oh,
She's
fuck.
on the other side of the pillar.
Does she like,
But she turned around when I said you bitch.
You just hear the wings. You have not seen her. All you hear is that it seems like she's more angry, and the crowd is silent now.
can we lean? Do we see her then?
Leaning, you can see just the wings going furiously.
Can I lean the other way?
The other wings going furiously. Anything else, Spice?
I'm going to hold my
action, I guess, until she looks at me.
Okay, and what are you going to do when she looks at you?
I'm gonna cast Psychoactive Eyes.
Very nice. Gibbs, what would you like to do?
I thought your turn was gonna take longer.
Sorry.
I will also be like, yeah, bitch, and my words whip out as I cast ego. What's it called?
Egos.
Ego whip.
Ego whip?
Sorry.
Okay,
I don't know
yeah.
your spell.
That's a will save
the
throw?
first time I've ever
Yes.
heard that.
I go my.
Okay, it's not great. Hold on 1 second here. As you yell this out, and it almost like a whip becomes this verbal weapon, she is going to roll a 21.
Yeah, okay. First level spell, my spell DC is 17. So she saves. Oh, so for 1 round, it will saves partial.
Okay.
So she still gets some. So she gets -2 penalty to intelligence, wisdom, and charisma based checks. Spell saves DCs, will saving throws, is staggered, but is only for 1 round instead of the full 8 rounds
Yeah.
/ 7 rounds.
How much to her AC?
No AC, but it helps Spice's stuff. I'm trying to stack with
Yeah,
Spice.
oh, absolutely.
What's
Yeah,
a
no
natural
problem.
20?
Very, very nice.
Turn around.
So, natural 24.
For the
Yeah,
intimidation.
for the intimidation.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's what it was for before. I mean, you absolutely have her attention. There's no doubt in your mind about that.
And then because we didn't move our turn, I'm gonna use my move action to cast healing on myself, and we'll
Very,
resolve
very
that.
nice.
So
So as Spice recovers from taking that huge shot, you use that time to heal yourself up just a little bit.
yeah.
Anything else, Gibbs?
No, that's action, movement, and fuck you, bitch.
Okay.
All in 1 turn.
It goes to the arena's turn, and you can just hear the announcer goes, "Oh, that was a bad idea," and that brings us to Shade's turn, followed by Bubs and Echo.
Cool.
Shade, it's real quiet in here all of a sudden.
I'm gonna use this opportunity while she's distracted to use my full 40 feet jump move action to get up to her.
She's going to use her reaction. Go ahead and make
She has another one?
She has
Yeah,
her turn.
every turn.
Oh.
Every turn she gets 1.
Yeah. So this is a gravity pulse. Go ahead and make a. I think it's an athletics check. Let me pull it back up.
Is this to be knocked prone?
It's not to knock prone, no.
maybe.
It's to pull you back 15 feet. It's almost the exact same as a gravity pistol.
Okay.
It's just because we're before break.
15.
15. Right back down onto the ground. Your knee actuators have to grind because it hurts. But yeah,
Does that count as my movement? What happens?
yeah,
there?
that's 15 feet of movement.
And then 15 feet back down?
Yep.
Okay. Can I try to jump 10 feet and make a shot then?
So
my
with,
jump
you're getting
checks?
knocked back down, and you just go no, and you just 10 feet up in the air. Yeah, make your attack roll. Absolutely.
And I'm gonna switch off my combat tracking and use distracting hack
Okay.
to try and get her flat-footed.
Okay.
So it's against. I always forget what it is, but it's the one that's
Sense
a
motive.
bluff. Yeah, against sense
She has a
motive.
-2 penalty to charisma
does.
based checks. And she's staggered. Wait, what does staggered do?
I don't think it's gonna matter.
Staggered, she can only take a swift single move or standard action each round, can't take reactions.
Oh, so she couldn't do that. So
Ooh, there
I
you
can
go.
make my
Okay.
attack up
There
there.
you go.
Wait, she
Good
is
looks,
staggered?
Good looks.
She's
Yeah,
staggered
yeah.
for 1 round.
Fuck yeah!
She didn't have. Yeah.
Okay, so then
Very
where's
nice.
the thing?
So also take off the combat tracking because you're not combat tracking.
Well, if I'm getting up there, I would, because no, I guess I'll still use my computer.
Sorry, guys.
I'll still switch to
No,
distract.
no.
Don't
Good. That's a good
apologize.
timely save. Because any further.
Natural 20.
So for a total of
this game.
Uh,
and Hans.
for 34.
34. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll damage on that. Very nice.
All right, so that's gonna be the curve blade. Oh, plus it's critical, so she gets bleed. So, ooh, okay, max damage on both.
Woohoo!
That's gonna be 21 slashing and 6 bleed.
27 total.
Yes.
Very nice. So as you are like pulsed back down, you fire this thing again, and you all the way back up, and you're able to draw level with her and slash with this blade.
So it's a. She's bleeding now.
Yeah.
Her royal
She's
flight.
bleeding. She's staggered. All of a sudden now the wings. Are
And
like
then
beginning
I
to flit.
fall down to the ground, but I can land because I have my
There you
descent
go, retro
thrusters.
thrusters, yeah. And so no problem. You down, and you look up, and you can see she's still not paying attention to you, focused squarely on Spice.
Cool. I'm gonna get ready to do it again.
There you go. That is your turn. Shade, Bubs, what do you want to do?
Bubs realized that he's not building himself up,
Yeah.
which is why he's not doing it.
Not a single statement has been
Yeah.
made.
So
No.
he's gonna tell himself to fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee,
Okay.
and he's going to fly up.
Do you do that too when you
Yeah,
say
yeah.
it? Fantastic.
And,
so on the screen, flashing across, you hear projected into the crowd, fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee. And then you fly up trying to use your dive card. Are you going to throw it?
No, I'm gonna standard attack it.
Okay, yeah, go
Straight
for
up. Physical damage. That is a 7.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I rolled a
you
7 and a 12. Back to
really
back.
build yourself up, and as you go like this, you feel your muscles pull in a very uncomfortable way. You're not used to doing this, and you've done it a
Yeah.
lot today, and so you just kind of pull a muscle, and as you fly up, you swing, and you barely have any power. She just easily dodges aside. Her eyes never leave Spice.
These rolls are not with me.
Anything else, Bubs?
That's it.
Echo, what would you like to do?
Man, I have to jump again. Gonna try and jump again.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm basically in the same space as she.
So make an athletics check. And to be very clear, you're not jumping. You're literally like wall running this pillar.
Yes.
It's got like the little Sonic the
I
Hedgehog
don't know if I'm gonna make
track
this.
up the sides.
Yeah, they're gonna
Every time she hits Echo gets hit, it's just
It's 22.
Yeah,
22?
coins go flying.
Even with
or
a 22, with a 22, you would be able to like climb the sides of a space station, like a smooth object.
Oh,
With
okay,
this,
so I may-
no problem. Yeah, you up, and you can find with your toes, like or with your feet, the slight divots between the stone cobbles, and easily you can get up. No problem.
All right. Am I able to supercharge my weapon from that, or probably not?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, yeah.
Regular old stab with the tiny little butter knife. Nope. Nope. Nope.
What was that?
That's a grand total of 11.
11. Okay. Oh, she can't even take reactions. Okay,
She can't.
never mind.
That's pretty
So you can see for a brief moment,
Frustration.
it's almost like she tries to dip lower and get struck by you, but unable to take the reaction to do that.
Oh, like to make it look good.
Yeah, and so like can't even do that. You guys are making it look pretty good though, so no problem. Anything else, Echo?
Echo just kind of like, after like wall running up the side of the pillar, just kind of like slides back down, and just like makes aggressive posturing to be like, rah, kind of catching on to like the attempt to like fly down and get hit.
Make a performance check.
We said diplomacy?
Sorry, yeah, diplomacy.
Oh god. All right, we're back to Kara rolls. That's a 15.
15. I mean, you
Not
know
negative.
what? Overall, yeah, for especially because this is
I
not
only have a
something
+1.
that you're like especially trained in. Yeah, you're doing pretty well. So, you know, you do a couple of like poses and flexes, still keeping your eyes on the prize. That is your turn, Echo. People are going crazy. This is the first time in a long time that the Katydid Queen has been hit this much. And so there are like more people piling down the stairs. People are beginning to get dangerously close to the edge. And so you would imagine any more kind of like natural 20s will probably result in some issues beginning to occur. People are packed in here. It is becoming humid and hot, but that brings us to the top of the round and the Katydid Queen. It is 8 o'clock. And so this is where we're going to take a quick break.
We didn't do it! Our goal!
It's okay. We're going to step away for just a moment, and then we'll be back to finish this combat. So we'll see you in just a little bit. And welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us through the break. If you did, welcome to Mosaic Team 5. I almost said Mosaic and Alberon. Mosaic Team 5 here on Alberon RPG, our original Starfinder campaign. We're going to jump right back into some intense combat here.
Oh, right. A fanfare.
Well,
That's him
she's
dying
not real
first.
happy.
Can we get some music change? Oh yeah, here we go.
Spice. Peeling herself up off
Alright,
the
make
ground.
the lights change.
And that brings us to the Katydid Queen. The lights don't physically change, but it's like it gets a little darker.
Yeah.
And you hear the of these wings pick up as she seems to be a little bit angry. You hear the announcer's words die as "that's a bad idea," and then it gets like slow motion, and all of a sudden there is this explosion of speed as the Katydid Queen is going to grab Spice, make an
She can
athletic.
only move or take a standard action because she's still staggered until my next turn.
Move or take a standard action.
can-
Can she take a quick action?
And she can take swift actions as normal.
Okay.
So yes.
So then she is going to use. Oh man, this is technical.
She can't take reactions, but she can take swift actions as normal.
Look up the
No.
rules.
So she's going to use her blitz fighting style, and instead of using a bull rush, she is going to opt to try to grapple you as a swift action. Can you go ahead and make an athletics check?
Yep.
So is she moving to get to her?
She will be, yeah.
Spice wriggles in her arms and like rolls a 14.
Okay. So she
Out of
poof,
real pain.
grabs you right by the scruff of the armor. You feel little elements of like plasteel and stuff bending. She does have to move down to get there. So does that provoke attacks of opportunity from anybody?
So I move with them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
So
say.
FYI,
Gibbs is attached.
I'm there.
That's still no problem.
Me too.
Yeah. Spice's wrist
So wait,
is absolutely
the
broken
quick
in half.
the
from
quick action is the
cuffs.
blitz.
Yeah. And so she is going to grab you, and then using her movement, she is going to go 20 feet straight up and then stop and let you go. And Spice, you
Spice.
travel 15 feet up into the air, and you hear, and you are going to be taking 2 attacks
So I think
From the
as
guns?
from the CPR lasers.
Wait, she's not gonna.
She's throwing
she's
her
throwing
up.
it up.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hit where the lasers hit. So I'm just gonna get zapped in the air.
It's not going to be the best.
Then you take 40.
Okay.
Bruh, it just doesn't. It's not gonna take much. It's a thing.
Does a 24 and a 23 hit?
Yep.
Alrighty,
Does
Spice.
Gibbs also go
Can I
through the
take
laser?
one of those? Because I'm there too.
Don't let me die. You can just take me
okay,
back up.
okay,
We're connected.
Spice.
That's why I'm not afraid of dying.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Spice, you take 19 points of fire damage as this kind of traces across the air and fires and hits you, and you can feel your armor punctured multiple times, and then you begin to fall. And you fall 35 feet
Okay.
before you strike the ground.
As she's falling, she just goes, "As you wish, my queen."
Okay. You could hear this over the loudspeaker. As you wish, my queen. And you take, as you hit the ground, 14 points of bludgeoning damage.
Goodbye.
You still up?
Nope.
Okay.
Silence.
My
The
queen.
dust settles.
Clump. You land on top of like Spice, just kind of crunching even more into her unconscious body.
My solar plexus.
And you hear all across the whole crowd, ooh, and just like everybody just kind of winces away. There is an audible crack as like the armor kind of splinters open a little bit. It is a like devastating strike. You feel like underneath you, Gibbs, you feel something in Spice break. That was like a violent throw. And then above you, you just see her go, sorry, and then kind of buzzes as she can't move anymore actually, but that is her
What is her height?
she's
20
going to be
feet,
at 20 feet, yeah.
Okay, still. Okay.
That is her turn. That brings us to sorry, I closed my book. Spice and Gibbs. So Spice, you are dying on the ground, just like on the ground, completely
Legs just in opposite direction.
yeah, exactly,
You're just gonna
like
resolve for
slightly
stable.
cratered a little
Well,
bit.
Your first.
2, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna use 2 of my resolve points.
There you go.
But now
legs
you're
in the
at
same
0.
And so you are stable, correct?
Yes.
All right, so you stabilize, and even though you are crushed into this floor, you are not getting any worse. The same cannot be said, by the way, for that gentleman in the top left corner. They are not doing well. There's like smoke rising off them.
Oh,
You can
God,
see like a couple
barbecue
people
man.
like bending down over them. It's like for them not to be paying attention to this fight, it has to be pretty bad. But that is.
guy
Are there any healers in the crowd?
Gibbs, what would you like to do?
Free action lifelink to Spice, giving you 7 HP. So on top of your stabilize, you become conscious.
Yep.
And it's terrible. As you become conscious, you definitely have a broken rib. You can feel there are bruises inside of you, and every time that you breathe in, there is a gurgle. There is blood entering into your lungs, but you are up.
I want to be back. I want to be back.
Then Gibbs is gonna.
Gibbs!
Because it
Oh,
gives
it's just
kisses.
Anything else, Gibbs?
Yeah, I guess I'll shoot a gun. I don't really want to. I'll spend my move action to accurately aim,
Okay.
and then I get a +1, which counteracts my negative level to hit.
Go.
17
Damn.
plus 5
Is probably not enough to hit.
It is not, unfortunately.
But Gibbs feels really good because she gets close.
So you fire, and sorry, she's not staggered anymore, is she?
She was
No.
bleeding.
Okay. She was bleeding, right? So that's
Can I
what,
have my
1d6?
staggered?
Does it re-roll? Resident Bleed
Yeah.
Master?
Yeah. Reroll bleed.
1d6.
1d6, okay. So
And
you
I'm
get
gonna
3 damage.
be like, Spice, stay down. Look dead.
Operatives have a.
Okay.
It's operative
So
level.
heal her with my lifelink, not heal her any further.
That makes sense.
And then try and make like a big show about being sad about Spice being down.
Okay, so just like,
Oh my friend!
your soak ears go down, the tail goes flat. You do your best.
The rattle's really sad.
Yeah, make a deception check. That's certainly what this is.
Can I? Well, bluff.
Natural 20! Natural 20! To be sad!
You channel all of the sad things that your family has been through in very recent history, and you look at Spice and you imagine as if your spell didn't work and Spice is gone forever, and you think about everybody else that you've lost, and having that one vital component also taken away is just heartbreaking. You channel that into this performance, and there are people like cheering, and there are people like concerned in the corner, but all of a sudden there are people just like, there's like a dead silence, and then you just hear Castro fall, and they're like begin to chant, and it's like a slow chant. And Spice, it's hard to stay down because you can feel this arena beginning to try to like wheel you back to your feet. But yeah, no problem. The crowd is shifting slowly.
And Gibbs is just gonna shoot daggers with her eyes, like as she's huddled over Spice at the Katydid queen, being like, my friend,
Okay, no problem.
I hate you.
You glare. That is your turn, Gibbs. That brings us to the arena. The lasers spin down a little bit, little bits of smoke rising from the holes in these angelic statue faces. But there's no further damage coming from the arena itself. At that brings us to Shade, Bubs, and Echo. Shade, what would you like to do?
Is she's 20 feet up from me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump up to there and distracting hack with my exocortex again and try to stab her again.
Okay, one thing. Sorry, I totally forgot. So she's going to use her reaction on Gibbs's turn, actually.
She gets it back at the end of my turn, right?
Is it at the end of your turn?
No, because she's
It should be, yeah.
After her turn? Because one of
Who
her
gets
turns.
it after hers.
Okay, then yeah,
so
never mind.
she uses
So she uses her reaction to lower herself just ever so slightly so that your bullet, or which weapon is this?
Reality pistol?
Reality pistol. So this distortion just barely kind of strikes, and you watch as like the two pauldrons shatter off. And so her shoulders are bare, you can see collarbone, you can see much more cleavage. And there is this moment where you can see she just like, there's a hesitant, just little bit of a smile, but then on the loudspeaker you just hear her go, ah, and just like spiral a little bit and the kind of flicker. And it is like a little bit of a show, but yeah, she takes no damage.
Cool.
And now you're realizing, as you had looked up Infosphere footage of her before, all those times where she looked like she was like just barely getting hit, but it really seemed almost effortless. This is all very much her playing down to her opponents. And she's doing the same thing for you guys right now.
I feel a little insulted, but then I'm like, yeah, cool, okay.
That is your turn. Or sorry,
That was her reaction
on
That's
my
her
turn.
reaction on your turn. Shade.
My turn. I'm gonna jump up, distracting hack to like make her wings glitch or something.
Okay.
And then try to stab her.
Does she still have that -1?
No.
Okay.
So it's a 23 against her sense motive.
Oh, she had a
She's a really good sense motive.
She had a minus.
AC?
No.
Okay.
It was like charisma and
Charisma,
shit.
intelligence, wisdom.
Yeah. And like a few other things, but like
Sense
nothing
motive?
that would have helped you.
Sense motive is plus 19.
Whoa.
So that is going to be a total of
Okay, so she's not flat-footed, probably.
34.
Yeah, she's not flat-footed. All right.
There is this of her wings, and she dips slightly, and in that moment, the last little bits of the pauldrons fleck away, and she
Still gonna
turns
try
and
to
like
stab her.
looks towards you as you rush up. Go ahead and make your attack.
21.
21. That is going to be a miss.
Dang.
And so you swing, and she just catches this blade between the two almost carapace-like bracers on her arms, and just stops
just
the movement
dangling?
completely. Huh?
I guess, so am I just dangling up
No,
here?
she'll let you go at the end.
I guess I'll grab onto the pillar and then just slide down after
Okay.
she lets go.
No problem. You slide down. She has no attack of opportunity. So anything else, Shade?
Nope, that's it.
All right, Bubs, what do you want to do?
Bob is gonna say, "You're not even a princess. You're more of a jester, a joke even." And then he's gonna fly up. She's at 20. I'll match her, and I'll strike. Standard action. Dot go. I'm gonna sunder too. It's a miss too. Anyways.
Okay. So you sunder nothing as you swing wide,
got a nat
completely
20.
miss. She out of the way as she takes that single strike from Gibbs, and the pauldrons explode away. That momentum carries her away from your
He
blow.
says over the loudspeakers.
Anything else, Bubs, as you miss?
That's it.
As a free action, the announcer just goes, "He keeps saying stuff, but he keeps missing, ladies and gentlemen." And you just hear boo, 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 just from like all around.
Big
And Bubs.
Nothing.
That's what Big B stands for, is Big Boo!
Yeah, it's starting to turn against you, but everybody's still very much cheering for Gibbs, cheering for Spice, cheering for the rest of your
The
team.
ladies killing it!
And Shade, definitely Shade too.
Shade plus the ladies!
So that
Okay.
is Bubs' turn. Echo, what would you like to do?
Echo's going to attempt to climb up the pillar and grab onto her
Okay,
to try and like drag her down with the combined weight.
so make an athletics check.
25.
So no problem. You haul up there, and as you like reach back, make one more athletics check. This is contested.
You'll feel okay.
That's double
Oh
digits.
no.
No!
What was that?
No!
Oh!
That's a third one this game! 4 out of 5 of us have gotten
39. And so as you rush up and you grab on, you go to reach, and all of a sudden, Echo, very gently, your fingers intertwined with hers.
Oh,
She
so
holds
cute.
both of your hands in the air, and she looks at you and she goes, "I can kill you right now." And she lets go and just lets you drop down to the ground. She didn't have a reaction, so she couldn't, but if she did, she could.
So she was lying. Bluff check.
So that
No,
is
no.
your turn, Echo, as you fall to the ground. Oh, right. You're falling to the ground. Echo, you take 1 point of bludgeoning damage as you land much cooler this
Oh wait,
time.
that was your turn, right?
That is Echo's turn. That brings us to the rest of the people in this arena. You watch as from up the top of the stairs, suddenly little green LED lights, like little strobes, begin to go around, and you see 2 individuals dressed in all white begin to like push their way through the crowd. And actually, who's closest here? I would say, Bubs, can you roll a D100 for me, please? As they begin to push their way and begin to shout to like, "Make way, make way," you can see the people beginning to like push up like even closer and closer to the edge.
75.
75, but just enough safety procedures. There's no GOSHA compliance, but there are slight handrails, and that keeps people from toppling over. They make their way over and begin to like cart this person away. You see him being loaded on a stretcher. That is the people. That brings us to the top of the round and the Katydid Queen. So, whew,
Bleed damage.
Oh, right. Is that the beginning or end? I think it's the end.
It's the end.
Yeah.
At the end.
So before the bleed damage, you can see she is bleeding. The pauldrons are broken. She turns. She is going to go and land right in front of Gibbs.
Gibbs is gonna make a big show of being like scared and like protective, like very much like the same methodology that she's used to like protect her friends. And now she's like standing over Spice to be like, "Don't touch my friend."
As she lands, she like swings with the back of the pistol and misses you by like an inch, which for her is a good amount. And you can tell very much like meant to, and it's her momentum carries her, like, her face like right in front of you. She just goes, just aim a little lower next time. And then swings, and as she swings her arm around, she's going to take 2 shots. That Echo. The Echo, you are very close. You feel the wine in your teeth.
Ranged attack within 5 feet.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But you can feel if there is that kind of critical effect at this range, there is a very unpleasant consequence. But there are 2 attacks. It's not a critical, but that is going to be a 28 to hit. Sorry, a 19 to hit.
No.
Okay, so the first shot misses as she away from Gibbs, but the second one is going to be a 31.
Yes.
And so with the 31, you are going to be taking... Ooh, lucky. 24 points of fire damage as this fires and just shatters the little shards of glass burning in your flesh and in the mechanical compounds. But no problem. That is both of their shots. Any attacks of opportunity, melee from people who want to within range?
Yeah, I'll bite her.
Okay, make your attack roll.
But I want to non-lethally bite her.
Okay,
Spice is going to very consciously not.
okay.
She's going to play
nice.
for the crowd.
Very nice.
17 to bite, and we'll aim lower.
Okay.
So bite her thigh.
So you go
And
you
rip
aim
off
lower.
one of the pauldrons on the thigh pieces.
Okay, no problem. So you feel as you grab onto it, it's very well attached, but suddenly her leg shifts and it's like it slides out almost like the back of like a bra. It will go down, nothing will happen, but up it just slides away. And you can now see just like the entire leg bare, like it is, you like fling it into the crowd. Spice, you feel her foot slide in the ground. She's about to kick you like right in the broken rib and then stops, and you feel as she just kind of slides down to where your hip is and shifts you about 3 inches back before she like slides away from Gibbs's blow. Very mindfully not stepping on you. But that is your reaction. Anybody else attack of opportunity? Make one Echo.
Echo is going to go like spit out some of the like accumulated coolant in their mouths. It's bright blue, and is going to artfully whiff it.
Okay.
What check do I make to artfully whiff it?
Your spit.
No, the
slash.
whiff the attack.
Oh, whiff the attack.
Yes.
This would be a bluff check.
What is that?
It means whiff to me means like
To
to
whiff it.
fail.
Oh.
Like
Like when you swing a baseball
very
bat
cocked.
and you whiff, it is, you don't even touch the ball. It just goes right by. You think
Also
that's just
cocked.
strike 3, you're out, baby.
up here.
All right. 25.
25. So after doing all of your like Macho Man Randy Savage flexes that really landed with the crowd somehow, you run over and you take the Mirage Dagger and you swing, and using the Mirage feature, you reverse the grip but make the blade appear to still be projected forward, and you like sink it in, and you hear she gasps and the crowd gasps, the music goes quiet, but she is unhurt, and in your ear you just hear nice. And then as a free action, she'll also say, go down in the next round and we'll be done. And she away. As she pulls away, there is no blood or anything, but she's holding on to that side, and you watch as the dress just falls away, torn off, and she is wearing now this like corset, like Wonder Woman one piece that is like a Beatles carapace material plate mail. But
Is bleeding?
she's bleeding, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. For what it's worth, she's taken a little bit of damage, mostly from you, Shade, and really not looking rough. But yeah.
Taking a little bit of damage and not looking rough.
Every little bit counts.
Every little counts, yeah.
My attack.
So that is attacks of opportunity. That is the end of her turn. Spice, what would you like to do? Gibbs, you are on deck. Spice, you are like on the ground playing dead.
Spice just shoots with all of her might doesn't smirk and just continues to play dead. But I'm gonna hold an action to cast a spell if she turns evil on my
Okay,
friends.
fantastic, no problem. So you just stay there, all of your might to do
Don't
nothing.
smirk! Don't
It has
smirk!
never been harder for a person to do nothing, but you're doing it successfully. That is your turn. Spice, Gibbs,
Splitting the
what would you
sand.
like to
Gibbs will. You're bleeding, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so because Echo took damage on her last turn, I can lifelink with her, so I will heal her for 7 hit
you
points,
go.
take damage, and really like. Gibbs was kind of bleeding because she was bad at one point in this fight, no longer all that bad, but really like kind of stands and like wobbles, and like really like plays up the fact that she's a lot smaller than Spice, and like plays up that she's like tethered to the ground.
do? Yeah.
So we'll sort of like steady her weapon at the person, use her move action to change it to stun, which is a function of the reality pistol, which
Okay.
makes it non-lethal.
Fantastic.
And we'll lower it to aim wherever it seemed like the Katydid Queen was saying, and we'll say, Katydid hurt my friends for the last time! And we'll try to hit her, but
Okay.
badly.
Amazing.
You've Katie done it for the last time.
I miss.
Okay. You fire, and as you miss,
picturing
I
like an old
believe
Western.
Miss
she
with
has
my-
her reaction back.
Yeah.
So especially with that performance and that phenomenal one-liner, you watch as she uses her reaction and hurls herself. There is very little art to this. This is very much her seizing on the opportunity and understanding that the emotion is going to carry through this moment. And she and they can edit it in post. But she dives forward for like the DVD release, Yeah. And she just dives forwards and takes this shot. And as she does, you can see it shatters and elements of this carapace begin to crack and break away. People are hooting and hollering and cheering and booing. There are all kinds of emotions flooding through this place, but you feel pretty good about that.
Gibbs sinks to a knee over Spice and is just gonna wait. Seemingly to be exhausting herself.
Yeah, no
Somehow.
problem. So yeah, the arena goes wild. You can hear the announcer go, "The Queen has never been put to the test like this." The crowd is cheering. Shade, Bubbles, Shade, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna do the thing that I've been doing. I'm gonna chase after with my move action. I'm gonna distracting hack with my exocortex.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Still fighting? Can you just...
Yeah.
Pride on
He's
these
never
guys.
right, he didn't even
Shade
want to
doesn't
fight.
have pride.
And
Shade
then
just
it's
doesn't.
Ludicrous
Shade does
joke,
not
keep
sense the
following.
motives of.
Thank you for
31 for the bluff or for sense motive.
That is going to be a 34.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, not flat-footed.
Yeah.
Making my attack. Dirty 20.
That is a miss. You can see as part of this the carapace armor shatters and begins to splinter away. She's a little distracted and can't tug herself into yours, but she definitely picks up on you being there and still firing. Anything else? Slashing, sorry. Anything else that you're doing?
Nope, that's it.
Alrighty. Shade, that is your turn. Bubs, what do you want to do? Echo, you're on deck.
Bubs is going to leap into the air, swinging his Dovco around his shoulder like this, and try to do an overhead slam sunder on her wings.
Okay.
And he's just gonna be he's just gonna yell, "I'm so sick of this!"
I knew it. I knew as soon as Dan
guys,
said that
perfect.
it was going to be a
Good
little
acting,
So
babe.
eleven.
You really killed it out there on the
Plus
field.
your face.
I didn't know you were such an
I've been
actor.
rolling 12s and I haven't been hit or
You
anything.
swing and to the side. You slam into the ground. It shatters the stone, and she is right next to you. And she leans in and she just says, "Lay down and be a good boy, and this will all be over soon."
Oh
Back a
no.
little bit, but no problem.
Gibbs gets hard.
Yeah.
Bubs get hard
Everybody
too.
heard that.
Gibbs' tail just.
Yes, dear.
Anything else, Bubs?
That's it.
All right, Echo. What do you want to do?
Echo free action pings the group and it's it is time to be done now.
I'm trying.
Artful surrender. And Echo pretends to huff with exertion and taken so much damage, actually has taken a lot of damage. And then tries, basically I want a bluff check so that Echo tries to stab one more time with the dagger, but either falls to their knees and just falls over turns down the brightness and on their
phenomenal.
lights.
Okay, yeah. So you're
like,
really going
"Ah!"
for the slapstick comedy approach here. Go ahead and make a bluff check. Take a plus 2 conditional modifier as you really do look bad.
So that's going to be a 23.
Okay, so for all of you, you watch as so convincingly that in your minds this is really happening. In this moment where all of you are like, oh good, like we finally see what's going on and there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Pinged everyone.
Okay, Echo pings you all, and it's good
Gives
because
lifelinks
this
like,
is such good like acting. Even your lifelink for a second goes down. This is a solid check. And
Everyone in the
you
crowd's
watch
like, oh!
as Echo surges forwards, catches their foot, and then just like shoves this dagger. Same mirage trick, like right through the chest. The lights. And there is like the collective, oh, and you just hear one person in the crowd just go, oh man. But yeah, absolutely.
Echo thinks inwardly, I have a fan.
Artfully sold. That is your turn, Echo. That brings us to the top of the order and the Katydid Queen, who is going to turn around. And actually, after saying that to you, Bubbles, they're going to just take a full attack on you.
Finally.
But holding these pistols, you watch as they squeeze, and it's almost like the little ammunition element like is absorbed back in, and the pistol elongates and begins to burn, and they're going to strike you with this melee weapon 3 times.
Okay.
So is she moving to get over
No.
there?
Oh wait, I thought she
I'm
was
right next to her.
Yeah,
I
she
just
should be right next to her.
Your Echo's
Oh,
away.
because
Yeah.
Echo's there. Gotcha.
I just assumed.
All right.
Echo probably
Scooted.
surged.
Bubbles does a
Died out of the way.
does a 27 hit?
No.
Okay, does a 29 hit?
KAC or EAC?
This is yes.
That's exactly the same as 29.
There you go. So you're taking 2 hits.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need to decide something.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Okay. Bubbles.
I do have -5 resistance from my attachment and +/- with the.
We're gonna get there. Give me a second.
KDQ!
You're taking 88 points of fire damage.
Yeah.
C.
And this is for that fire resistance, right?
Yeah. So 18.
Yeah, 18. And as she hits you perfectly in the chest, such that you know how you have that like piercing resistance.
Yeah.
You imagine that would have been just completely negated if this was piercing damage. Seems to negate about 5 points of resistance. But the second attack deals 29 points of fire damage. As you take both of those strikes, are you doing anything in response?
Bubs is just gonna like spit out some blood, wipe his mouth and go. All right, it's go time.
Okay, no problem. You can hear she takes a deep breath and she just goes, I tried. That is her turn. Spice and Gibbs, anything that you want to do?
Gibbs is gonna use Token Spell, which is a cantrip,
Yeah.
to pick up some of the kind of dirt, blood, grime, like whatever she's got, and sort of recolor it so every time someone like takes damage, it looks, and she's gonna like force herself to look more exhausted, as if she's casting the lifelink spell.
Gotcha. Okay.
So every time like Bubs takes damage, she's gonna like just look until she can kind of like organically go down throughout it, so that Bubs can be last one standing.
Fantastic. Love that.
While she's just laying on the ground waiting for this to end, she's going to just start idly reading the minds of the people around her.
Yeah. So like as this is
not
going
your
on,
bedroom?
Yeah, like
People-
twiddling
All the time.
her tongue, like in her mind, just twiddling her thumbs.
people are
reading minds.
absolutely going nuts. People like love this. This is crazy. People are saying this is the best thing since the bishop. There are like all kinds of like there are people like taking photos, and already you can hear people in their minds thinking about, oh, I could make a great t-shirt with that, like, you know, like there's merchandising happening in this moment. It's pretty wild.
Gibbs is going down, just
Okay.
like to be clear on
No
her
problem.
turn.
I got you on
Cool.
that. Yeah. So you like are casting this as Bubs is fighting with this individual. You cast again, every time getting a little bit more pale and using your token spell to have this like little bit of like blood leave your body until eventually you just fall down on top of Spice. This last little flicker of trying
So
to give her
how's it
spell.
going?
Make a bluff check.
Oh shit. My buff's pretty high though. So 19 minus 1 is 18.
Very nice, yeah. So the announcer just goes, "Oh, and another one down," and people like begin to cheer. There's like one or two people that are like, "Oh," and just like other boos, but still a lot of fans. Although I will say, there are fewer cheers than at the beginning. But that is your turn, Gibbs. That brings us to Shade and Bubbles. Shade, what do you want to do?
Distracting hack and slash.
Yeah.
Yeah, my boy, my boy.
Hack and slash!
Time's up, bitch. Pride on that side.
They're
It's
actually
not
gonna go down.
pride.
Yeah.
30
30 against
for sense motive.
for sense motive, right?
Start attacking you guys.
Right.
I'm gonna mind thrust the shit out of you.
We all come back and it's like,
31.
Right, not
There you go.
distracted.
Yeah.
Ooh, you got close
Slashing.
that time.
Ooh, 30 for the hit.
30 for the hit. That is a hit, absolutely, against either.
That's
Because you're supposed to give up, that's why.
Shade doesn't hear that.
you should have echo pinged.
Yeah.
The dice.
Your sense
do what
motive
they
didn't pick
must.
up on it already? Shit.
Nope, because that's 14 slashing damage.
14 slashing damage, fantastic. So you watch as the entire like middle part of this corset just shatters off, and now it's basically just a bikini. There are cracks forming, and even that, the crowd is going wild. She is looking at you, and she looks a little disappointed. And in your mind, as she is a Lashunta and can telepathically cast this, which, for what it's worth, reaffirms to you in the nature of this that it is probably not an android. But she telepathically communicates to you, "Just go down or I'll have to really hurt you." That is
Stop
your
rolling and just do it.
turn. No, I like it. It's the character. Anything else, Shade?
Nope.
Bubbles, what do you want to do?
Bubbles is just gonna hit her.
There you go. You turn
The
after she
density
tells
on
you to
that
be a
side.
good
I'm surprised our
boy.
table isn't bending.
Yeah, I know.
God, shit, it's so heavy.
Standard attack. What does that mean? Is that cocked?
That's a natural 20.
No, that's a natural.
Is that a natural 20?
That's a natural
Yeah.
20.
What?
There you go.
Love
Fantastic.
I'm just gonna casually put Echo back there because Echo's gonna use something on
Yeah,
the next
so
turn.
roll damage on it. That hits.
I'm just in shock.
I'm not gonna lifelink
I
you
had to
guys.
find
I'm
my
not worth
damage
it.
die.
Don't you
Yeah.
dare
We're
kill
done.
this
I'm gonna
woman.
start
Tweeting.
psychokinetic screaming at you guys and trickle your hit points down until you actually
I'm
die.
trying to think. Has she? She's used her reaction already.
This woman's the shit. What are y'all doing?
She's so fucking cool.
Yeah, I love her. She's
Yeah.
great.
2, and then
New
it's doubled,
ally.
so it's 4.
Stop fucking it up, you
and
guys.
then it's plus 15, so 19.
19. Okay. So yeah, you deal 19 points of damage as you slam into this woman after she tells you to be a good boy. That infuriates you. And so you turn and swing as she is like her back turned. You can see it's like she's focused on Shade like very intently for just a second, and you use that brief moment of distraction to hit her. You see the wing shatters before it reforms. It did a good amount of damage, and she's finally starting to look a little bit damaged.
Bubs is just gonna say, "Don't call me a boy."
Okay.
Have telepathy.
That is your turn, Bubs. Echo, your stand down?
Echo has stood down. Echo's like powered
Yeah,
down.
no problem. Okay.
But Echo will use their turn. Can't telepathic message because we haven't slept yet. To like once again frantically ping the group chat like, "This is entertainment. Please go down for entertainment.
That is Echo's turn. That
Ally,
brings us
ally."
To the top of the order. You watch as the medics take that person out through the top of the stairs, and the Katydid Queen turns. She looks at you, Bubbles, and she's gonna take a full attack against you, which is all 3.
Stupid fuck.
I'm about it.
Bubbles.
I'm excited for him to suffer the consequences of his actions.
First of all, natural 20.
Good.
The
KDQ.
next one is
KDQ!
34.
KDQ!
Does a 34 hit?
Yes.
And then finally, does a 23 hit?
No.
Okay, so you're taking, we'll do the non-critical one first. That is going to be 10,
damage?
13. This is fire damage. That is 30 points of fire damage first. And then the critical hit. Ooh.
The crowd gasps.
Dice Tower, roll the damage.
That is, oh, so close. 39 points of fire damage. And as the almost plasma-like energy that is bunched around these jets out and explodes in your face, you are taking an additional 20 points of fire damage as
60
this
points.
jets explodes out. And actually, where are we positioned right now, just for clarity?
Oh shoot, we're all right next to each other.
Yeah, from where Bubs is, you watch as the entire pillar behind him is bathed in this plasma in a cone that fans out and just erupts, and elements of the stone begin to melt into like molten rock and slide down the side. The crowd goes crazy for this. But that is her turn. Are you doing anything as a reaction to that?
I can't react.
Was that a range?
No, but I mean, you've already
Yeah.
been told that you can stand down, and she'll let you walk away. So, are you doing anything as a reaction to that?
Like crumbling,
You
falling to
look
your
down,
knees.
you look over, and you can see Gibbs is like down, and like Spice is just
Like
you see, like,
screaming in your mind, like, babe, stop this stupid shit and give out!
But up to you. What are you doing?
Bubs will lay down.
Okay, just straight. You like
He'll fall to his knee and then he'll like collapse.
make a bluff check.
Oh no, damn it.
That's pretty good.
16.
16.
That's not bad.
5.
5. Damn.
That's better than Gibbs's.
Yeah, if I could roll.
So yeah, you like drop down to one knee and you take the Dothko and you like try to go up, but you make it look like the edge of the hammer like slips on the stone and you just don't have the energy to get back up again. And like this really sells it. The crowd goes wild and it's just you, Shade.
This
Just
side
you
of the
left.
table is just like, this is so awesome. That side
is that
feels
a
like,
ranged
fuck
weapon
this.
attack?
This is
Sorry?
Was that a ranged weapon
Fake
attack?
dying!
That was
Dope.
yeah, absolutely.
Reaction to make an attack against
Oh my
it.
Yeah.
god! Oh my, stop drawing this out, man.
That's not gonna hit.
He didn't even want to do this fight. Let's remember it's
Fire right
sessions
by.
ago.
Yeah,
That
Shane did
is,
not want to be here.
Her
Yeah,
turn.
Shade didn't want to be here.
That runs us all the way down to you, Shade. It's now just you and her.
Same old, same old. Actually, wait. Same old, same
I
old.
want to spin on the floor where he is at to make him take this at a disadvantage.
30 for the computers check.
30 for the computers check. Hang on a second here. That's pretty good. I don't think that's going to work for you. Sense motive, right?
Yeah.
35. Yeah.
All right. And the attack. Ooh, that's a 28.
28. That will hit. Absolutely.
All right.
So all it took was your entire party dying, and then you could do it.
And that's going to be for 20 slashing damage.
20 slashing
And
damage.
she
Very
should have
nice.
taken more bleed damage last round.
Okay.
She still has 245 hit points left.
Oh, she's not even
Stamina.
to the 3 digits yet. What are you talking about? So,
Damn straight. That's what I like to hear.
as you slash across, she's starting. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
That's not mine.
She's starting to look like really hurt. That is a substantial amount of damage, and now the wings begin to like flicker. She turns and she glares at you. Anything else on your turn, Shade?
That was my exocortex action, my attack, and then I guess I can move action, fight defensively, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay. You fight defensively.
We gotta do it.
Okay,
She
he's having a good time.
takes her turn, and since you guys are already toe to toe, right?
Well, I backed up 5 feet now because
Okay.
I fought defensively.
Gotcha,
Defensive,
gotcha.
whatever the 5 feet move action to go backwards.
Okay, fantastic. So she is going to use her movement action to 20 feet up into the air. She's going to fire at you with 2 attacks. That is going to be a 30 to hit
That hits.
and a 24 to hit.
That hits.
Alrighty. Shade.
Are you bleeding?
Ooh, they both went out of my thing.
Yeah.
That is going to be 31 points of fire damage.
Okay.
And the second one hit as well.
Motherfucker, don't you go down.
Yep.
I'm not gonna help him. I just wanna
24
know.
points of fire damage from the second.
Okay.
These 2 shards of like liquid, almost hot glass shatter as they pierce into your skin. They get into the circuitry. They grind into metal, and you can feel them almost like weld into place. Anything else that you were doing as a reaction to that, Shade?
No, she's up in the air now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, here we go. Shade, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna do the same thing that I've been doing. Actually,
$11,000, I win!
I'm gonna do the same thing.
Shade.
Huh?
All right.
I just
Can I
got
deter this in any way?
$11,000.
Yeah.
That shade would
Great.
take another
Can
turn.
I-
You did.
26.
I'm gonna shout. I have my mind link circuit, so I can telepathically shout to Shade because he's within range.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna shout, Captain, stop!
It was a 26
For the computers check.
for computers
For
check.
bluff.
Okay. I think maybe
Did I actually get it?
no.
Oh, okay.
I was just thinking if it was over 40. No.
All right.
Yeah. So 37.
Cool. And then I'm gonna make the attack. And that's
Gibbs, roll a d4.
25.
25.
1.
That is a 24, as all of a sudden Gibbs shouts in your mind, trying to throw you off, and it just ever so slightly twitches you away. Is that against KAC or EAC?
KAC.
KAC, that is not enough, unfortunately. And so you swing and just right off the very, very, very tiny bits of armor that she has left. Those final remaining bits,
Just
basically,
tassels.
Yeah.
it's almost
It's
it's not quite a micro bikini, but like
It's a
very
slave Leia bikini.
yes. This is absolutely like slave Leia, not safe for work in any way, shape, or form. But it hits that one little bit of armor and does it absolutely like turned aside. Nothing.
Okay. I'm like landing down onto my knees.
Okay. So then she is going to, on her turn, use her momentum and take a diving attack against you. This will be a full attack.
I hate this.
Love this so
stupid
much.
lady so much.
Shade.
cute. I love her
The
so much.
lowest one is a 21,
That misses.
then a 27.
That hits.
Okay, and then a 35.
That also hits.
Okay. So Shade, you are
no.
taking.
That's why I went to my knee, because I'm already.
26 points of fire
Yeah, I'm
damage. Okay. So she boom, slams you in the head, and it just absolutely, like, you go down to one knee, and in your mind, you're like, okay, I'll gracefully bow out now. And then you get hit
No,
so
I just-
hard.
I just die.
It
I
is.
don't gracefully bow
Yeah,
out.
this is like getting hit by a truck. You almost hear like the truck horn as you, and it's just silent and darkness. You don't even have like the typical like Android screensaver going. It is just complete shutdown for just a second. Somewhere on your body, like a floppy disk drive pops out. Yeah,
you drop
it's
your
bad.
laptop.
There was
But-
a truck horn. It was played over the speakers of the pit.
Yeah.
There you go. With that, I'm gonna bring you guys out of the mission.
I hate this woman so much.
Bubbles, you are on the ground as that's happening. She like the crowd is going absolutely wild. Give me 1 second. Let me.
I wait for the white. I wait for the white men. Not white coated. Sorry, white coated men to come and carry me out in a stretcher.
Yeah, and so like as this
White
happens,
stretcher men.
and you can hear like the "We have a winner" and like the crowd goes absolutely wild. The doors open up from where you guys came from, and these like medics come in. Absolutely, they come in. They begin to like load you up, and as they get you in, one of the people like leans down to you, Gibbs, and they just go, "That was a really great job. You did awesome."
I need a med kit.
Yeah. Oh, and they like go in, and you go back to
take
like
a
the
med kit.
backstage. They have med kits. They have all kinds of things, and we'll get to that in just a second. Give me 1 moment here. Okay.
I could take it.
You're
The-
butthurt about that.
I love
Crowd is going absolutely wild. The announcer just says, "We have a winner," and you can barely even hear the announcer over the shouts and screams of this audience. Suddenly, there is, and confetti is now like running and falling. But as it hits the ground, it just explodes and becomes almost nothing, as this is just like projected confetti. But all of you are like bathed in this moment as you are carried out and into this back room.
Spice just lets the like spotlight and the fake confetti like dust her face, and as she gets carried away.
We have to be carried in stretchers side by side because
Yeah,
we're
'cause
attached to
we're-
each other.
Yeah, they like are. It's very
really
awkward at
awkward,
first. They're
yeah.
trying to get you on and everything.
They just roll me on the same stretcher at one
yeah,
point. We're like,
it's-
"Yeah, this is fine.
Yeah.
We're hugging each other."
Once they're in the
Yeah.
back room, Echo just kind of like sits up. Everything like powers back on. It's like,
Everybody freaks the fuck out. You're like, "Oh, I need a med kit," and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, absolutely." And he goes over and Echo, like Terminator, sits up, and you see the person who has the med kit just go, "Ah," and just passes out. The other person screams and like coils. Echo really sold that they were dead, and that is, yeah, they were. Everybody else knew that this is the professional group. They knew that you guys were faking. For Echo, not so much.
Did I do a good job?
Great job.
You can see that person is just like nodding as they catch their breath. But out here,
Here,
in
wait
the
a moment
crowd-
to revive those two.
Yeah, so
She had auto
I'm
CPRs.
first of
so
all,
it was stable.
they're bringing you over. As the medical person is coming over, you can hear the footsteps of this woman as she walks towards you, Bubbles. And she kneels down and she just says, "You should have gone down earlier, but maybe you can try again tonight." And suddenly on your communicator, there's a beep, and you can add.
Excuse me?
You're not there.
I
You don't know this.
I'm in my spa treatment.
Someone thought the moves were good moves.
Kitna
those lines really
Ballard
worked.
to your
Kitna Balor.
Kitna Ballard.
How do you spell that?
Kitna space Bollard. And she stands up, and like there's this crowd cheer, and with the confetti coming down, she also makes her way off and towards the back room, in the opposite direction.
Ooh, maybe Spice will fight her now.
Well, only if you tell her.
So backstage, there's that freak out. All of you, like one by one, are like brought back there. All of you receive fantastic medical treatment, and actually, the woman who is coming down.
You're doing it wrong. You missed a spot.
7 HP.
I could use
for
one
the
more
record.
Stitch.
I'm
Yeah,
actually.
and for what it's worth, after the first couple times, like, and a lot of times, people for you, Gibbs, have kind of like looked over you. You're this little Yosoki, and you're always kind of gross looking. And so, especially for medicine, they look at you and are kind of like, no. But they very quickly follow your advice, and it seems like they seem to have some understanding that you know what you're talking about. These people are pretty
Gibbs
good
feels
training.
pride for the first time in like 3 weeks.
I am the medical.
Someone's listening to me.
But the Drechai who had brought you guys here came down, and she looks absolutely overjoyed. And she says, "I really can't believe it. I thought you guys were absolutely going to blow it. I thought you guys were going to tank. I thought you guys were going to be truly awful." But, and she turns the data pad around, and you can see already on the infosphere there's highlight reels. There is like tons of things going up. You are all the Castrovellian Cobras. There is no mention of Mosaic Team 5. You do see there is a meme now with Bubbles going like this, and it says "nearly beaten," and like the Katydid Queen, and like all these different things are coming out.
I
Absolutely.
expect monetary compensation for our amazing performance today.
Of course, to you.
Am I back up?
Yeah.
I did the auto CPR unit. I rolled a 7 on the check, so I don't know if I'm back up.
So your auto CPR doesn't work. However, back here, your administered medical attention, everybody can bring their health up to within 10 points of their maximum
HP or SP?
HP.
HP? Okay.
You receive dedicated medical care
What
for the
about
next
SP?
10 minutes. Your SP does not come back.
Okay.
So they heal HP.
What about resolve points?
Your resolve points do not come back either.
Okay.
Drechai turns and she absolutely takes the communicator and she beeps over, and you.
We had requested hard credit
Oh,
currency.
right.
Hard credits, please.
So she would have absolutely remembered that. I didn't. She turns around and she takes over, very small, very thin, so you didn't see it, but this briefcase. And laying it out as she opens it up, only 2 thick, but laid all the way across the briefcase, credit coins, 100 credit coins. They're old. Like none of them are super shiny. There's probably some attempt to make them look nice, but these are like antiques. But you all have 50,000 credits worth of hard currency.
Why did we ask for hard currency?
Because we didn't want to try to Mosaic. Could I have my 10K now, please?
Yeah, me too.
She turns and she says, "Actually, you all did so well. If you want to keep your weapons, absolutely okay. And then I have some vouchers for you." And she goes and she pulls out these vouchers for the Ranch of Rest. And you can see each of them reads, it says, "Ranch of Rest Reset Package. Shape yourself on the outside to match the inside." And she says, "Each of you can get 1 augment off the list.
Do we have to have them or can we choose?
Well, if you have one, I'm sure that they could put it in, but from the ones that we stock, you're getting a free augment."
I pass my voucher to Spice and grab her hand instead and be like, "Tell me about Trishna."
Okay. So you grab him.
Because I don't care about augments.
No problem.
No, you have 2. You can put 2 in your inventory.
Wait, whose hand are you grabbing?
I'm grabbing Drishna's because she told me about the Ranch of Rest for the secret sauce and I want to ask her about Trisha.
For drugs.
So I don't care about the thing she's handing me. I want better information for me.
Oh, she's like holding these vouchers very awkwardly, and she kind of shuffles them and just drops them on the floor as close as she can to you guys. And then to you, Gibbs, she turns and she says, "Trisha, the medicine girl. If you're looking for something, like I said, just tell her you want to relax real hard."
Echo closes a briefcase and takes it with them.
Sure. She turns and she says, "A part of this package, as you've all been quite hurt, is if you feel exhausted in any way, they'll be able to reverse that. If you're feeling perhaps especially negative after that battle, that should restore you."
I think we should hit that right now. I'm feeling pretty sick myself. How about you, Shade?
Shade, how do we handle this? Somebody's got to watch the train and get back. We've gone 27 minutes.
You have about an hour.
We have an hour and whatever change.
Totally. We're checking in on the cameras and the
You
director.
close your eyes and you attach to your ghost, which has been implanted into one of these arrival cameras that is like pointed towards the train. Make a perception check.
And it had been passively watching.
Yeah.
Oh my god. There we go. I think that's still. Yeah. Okay. 26. Or sorry, for perception.
Yeah.
24.
With the 24, you kind of like go back and you watch the passive feed, and it's not in great quality, and so you can't make out a lot of detail. You do see 2 crates, roughly human-sized, loaded, and so that immediately pings your interest. You see a huge statue that is like kind of pulled in, and they have to angle it in several different ways and like take one of the doors off and like pull it in, but it's a massive gold statue. You see a dirty human in a tattered coat get on. You see another human get on, followed by a goblin who both seem very drunk, kind of like colliding with the doors. You can see, but at a certain point, Tony comes back. With the 24, you could see that he is holding a little box that seems to be a freshly purchased box of whiskey. And then you see these racks of cargo that were being loaded previously with robotic components of some kind.
The Harbinger ones.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the director is still orbiting us somewhere, right?
If you like quickly kind of ping every 60 seconds, there is the briefest little blip. Like your agreed upon way of knowing where the ship is without making a huge amount of noise.
Shay's gonna take out a cigarette and we should rest.
At the ranch, perhaps?
Yes.
Thank you, Krishna.
Thank you. We were really in a tight spot, and without all of you, we would have had to cancel the show.
Oh,
And we got great footage from this.
cool.
This was amazingly fun.
I liked it too.
Well, if
Send
you
it
want
to
to come back,
Mosaic
you
Team
absolutely can.
We
But
can't say Mosaic Team 5.
actually, if you enjoyed this, I know a guy who would love to speak to you. He saw the fight. He's a director and wanted to talk to you about maybe doing some kind of like a vid, if you were interested.
Is he related to TJ by any chance?
Oh, like the bounty board guy?
Yeah.
No.
So who are you talking about?
His last name is Burns.
Everyone in Hollywood knows
Dr. Burns.
Director Burns. Tell me about Director Burns.
Well, they are a movie director.
I don't
They
want
direct
to
films.
be-
What kind of movies?
Can I
Because
look up on
judging
the
by her
infosphere?
outfit out there, it seems like she does
Director
a kind of
Burns.
specific type of
Yeah.
movie, if you know what I mean.
No. Different kind of business. What was that?
Can I look this guy up on
Absolutely,
the infosphere?
Give me 1 second.
I want to go to the ranch rest. I'm gonna start walking there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing this
Okay,
on my
yeah.
exocortex as
So
we're
she like
continuing.
hurries up and like follows along if you guys are all walking with her.
Slice will click her comm to Beatrice and be like, just tell me, and if have the Queen reach out to me if she wants to too. We love her.
Oh,
here.
babe, she gave me her comm information. I think maybe we could,
What?
You see, she raises the Lashunta raises an eyebrow at that. That definitely draws a reaction from her as well.
Oh, well, she probably wants to, share, fighting secrets and battle strategies. So I'm going to invite her to the Ranch of Rest. And I'm like,
What? What do you have from her?
oh, she gave me her comm number. And Bubs is like, putting
Spice
his
is gonna
comm
like crypt it. Yeah.
Gibbs is gonna pull Spice as fast as possible because Gibbs wants to
She,
do the
like,
Ranch of
goes to
Resh and
raise
talks to
it.
Trishna,
Okay,
and we'll start to
Trisha,
whatever.
like
sorry.
Patricia, but sure.
Okay, sorry. I wrote Trishna the original time, so now it's
No worries,
stuck
no worries.
forever.
Bubs,
But we'll pull Spice to the Ranch of Rest, interrupting this conversation, rolling a high enough insight to know that this is chaotic.
You don't need an insight. You
Yeah.
you feel Spice tense up. The cuff yanks up, and she
Yeah.
goes, "What?" And
Ranch of Rest!
Yeah.
Bubs is going to send a message inviting, it's going to just be very, innocent, oh, yeah, you're such a good fighter. We should, swap battle strategies and, techniques.
Make a diplomacy check.
That's how Goku and Chi-Chi got
We're gonna
together.
want.
That is...
Oh, sorry. Actually,
I have plans
I
tonight.
gave up fighting.
that is a 14.
You were so bad, I'm turned off from fighting forever.
You message that and send this message. A couple of seconds go by, and you just hear. And looking down, you've received a message from her. With that roll, as you make the message, you know how when you send a text, you can't really read the inflection or the tone.
Yeah.
You see the little dots roll up, and then, is that sarcastic? I crushed you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, totally. But, if you want to just, hang out too, that would, we could, post fight, it's always cool to meet people and talk with them.
Roll another diplomacy check. That would fail.
You get another message, and you said, I think maybe I made a mistake.
Oh!
Oh.
And that's all.
Bubs was just wanted to swap fighting strategies
Yeah,
and
I'm
stuff.
sure that's what goes on.
Ranch of Rest.
You make your way
The
over
Ranch of
towards the Ranch of
Rest.
Rest. Who's going to the Ranch of Rest?
Everyone.
Mosaic
all of
Team
us.
5.
Wow.
For once, we all decide to go together.
Yeah, I assumed that you weren't, actually. That's why I asked. All right. Shade?
I rolled for who Mr. Burns' director was.
Okay, so looking up Mr. Burns, the director, this is a director who goes by is Mads Burns. That is their actual birth name, you find out. And
M-A-D.
they have directed a
Most
number.
Danish name I've ever heard.
So they are from Solari, and they are from Old Earth, and they are from the Democratic European Union. So you see that they have directed. They started off as a producer for the Fast and the Furious movie, which is the third final movie in the Fast and Furious franchise.
Blast 'em.
They
Last.
also directed a movie called Boarding Action, which is a Fazarakian war flick. And then recently, they bridged into dramas and directed a love story that is called An Akaton Wept. But they primarily do things based around war or action, known for adding lots of explosions. Even in that love story, there's explosions, quite a few.
Okay.
Oh shit.
That's the part. That's R-rated.
But certainly not a adult film director. This is somebody who just was watching the fight and saw people who can this is probably somebody who saw that at least one or two of you was taking a fall, but you guys could definitely fight and move. And so maybe looking for somebody for an action movie.
Stunt coordinators.
Yeah.
So all of you make your way over to the Ranch of Rest. Give me 1 second here. So you arrive at this space. The entryway, as it opens up on the opposite side of this wide lane, and as you turn to the right, Spice, for what it's worth, you do see this huge floating casino, the various levels that are spinning, and it's a couple hundred feet away.
Spice. Yeah. It's perfect.
No problem. You corral spices.
Distracting.
I'm dancing now. I've got no pants. I'm dancing now, and I'm going this way. Far, far away.
So people give you weird looks, but you make your way
I don't
across
care.
the street and you enter into this space where, as you open it up,
Yeah. Okay.
there are what look like the carpets are like white, almost shag rug, but as you step on them, they like clouds around your feet. And it very much is like you are stepping onto clouds. The walls are this material, the ceiling is this material, and here and there are just elements of it that float through, slightly hued, to cast little like individual spaces where it's like lavender and blue and red. And all these places are very, very softly lit, and there is very faint music. You can smell elements of lavender and vanilla as you walk in. There are several women, men, and a surprisingly buff contemplative, this huge floating brain creature, but like the first one that you've ever seen who has pecs, period, but like pretty chiseled.
Prefrontal cortex.
No
looking at
eyeballs,
your
no
brain.
mouth, no fingers,
Frontal
just these
lobe.
like little hooky things and these tiny little legs, but jacked. Real toned body for the contemplative. They're all on these floating cloud-like beds, like reclining, very much in your classic Roman repose. You can see that there is the counter where a woman who is wearing what looks like almost like a toga, she has a snake-like lower body, is waiting at this counter made out of white quartz, and she has a name tag on. That reads Trish.
Trish. Hi. Hi.
She turns and looks down and goes, "Oh, hello."
Hi. I'm looking for a really good rest.
We are
I
the
really-
Castavellian Cobras, if you didn't just
A
see.
really good rest.
I absolutely did, and we can do that. But one moment. Did you all receive vouchers? We heard that you might be coming.
Echo fans out the 5 in front of her.
And she like takes these all. Give me just 1 second. Ugh.
So mechanically, are we bringing everything up from to full, including?
Hold on, we gotta wait.
Let's wait for the DM explanation.
Level up at the end of this.
Because I'm hoping that this means everything goes up to level 8.
Mechanically, she pulls out like this huge menu of options. You see hot stone massages. You see like facials and all kinds of different like acupuncture and different kinds of things. There's a menu of different augments, and for all of you, you watch as the price for each of them drops to 0. One of you each will be able to get one of these different augments. And there are some spicy ones on there.
Spicy.
Yeah, sorry, I was gonna do that and send it. Here.
She turns, and you can see all of this traditionally would include an optional massage. It is not like a happy ending massage. It is listed as the special massage. But as you read through, you recognize, you especially, Gibbs, this is like a legitimate medical procedure that is kind of like pseudoscience, but it seems to work, but people aren't really sure why. And the effect is that it will remove a negative level.
One negative level?
Normally, it would remove 1 negative level for 500 credits. You could have your negative levels removed for free. And mechanically speaking, at the end of this hour rest, and so you guys are going to have to sprint to the train. But at the end of this hour rest, you are level up because this will count as a long rest.
Dang.
Can I get the free cucumbers, but like never ending? For my
Yes.
eyes, of course. But
Would
for
you
also
like to
my
just eat cucumbers?
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that.
Really?
Yes. This is a spa.
This is the best place ever.
We'll bring you a menu once we get the menus started, or the massages started.
Is
Come with
there
me.
more
And she
than this?
Turns and kind of like, more than what? Just what?
So sorry, is the really good rest this menu?
No. So the really good rest separate. That's just its own thing.
Alright.
When you complete that hour, you have taken a long rest, which means all of you will have leveled up. It also means that your negative levels will be removed as part of that Ranch of Rest package. And then if you choose, you can select an option from that menu and it will be implanted for free. Additionally, she'll tell you, and if you have something that you would like implanted instead, we could of course do that. But please let me know. And she like puts the menu of augments back. So for each of you, you can mark off a long rest. And
Yes.
if you want, you can choose an augment and add it.
Can Spice choose 2?
If you don't want one,
I don't want one.
Do all 3 of my negative levels go away?
yes, they do.
Ooh.
Make a diplomacy check.
Okay. with Spice's help.
Yeah, I'll give you the help acting because Spice for sure wants more than one.
Sorry, hold on. Let me pick up this.
Can I give you my extra d6 plus 1 for diplomacy?
So my diplomacy is pretty high organically.
Yeah.
11 plus 11 is 22. So I
whatever.
have an 11. I rolled an 11, so I'm 22. So whatever Joe's willing to give for it being given to Spice, Gibbs is pretty anti having her own augments.
It isn't necessarily part of the package, but maybe if I was compensated in some way, I could look over that.
Like, what do you like?
Well, have you heard of money?
Okay, okay. I don't want to insult you, but I don't know the running price. So I'm going to slide across the credits, and you just tell me if it's not enough, okay? And I slide across 200 credits.
Okay. She takes that and like looks at you.
400 credits?
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
And
Cool.
she takes these.
Um,
Spice, if you want, you can add 2 augments.
cool.
Dope. Wow, thank you.
So Gibbs pays 400 credits, so you can have 2 augments.
So Spice, what she does is she
It's a
walks.
huge saving.
That's
I know, yeah,
overall,
so-
Huge savings.
It's a big
So
savings.
Spice sees you slip her 400 credits and then just like taps your credit and replaces your 400 credits.
Nice. And then kind of looks at Echo, who's holding the box of, do I add that now or later?
Echo says, in a more secure location. Like, not in the receptionist lobby of the Ranch of Rest.
Okay. Okay. When we have side-by-side massages, just like,
Wait until we get back to the ship.
Echo, like, sends a direct message to Gibbs. We share a first-class compartment on Tony's Express.
do you think giving it to Tony is a bad idea?
Yes.
Oh.
No problem. So you all message each other as you are receiving massages, pedicures, manicures, anything that you really want. There's sugar scrubs. There are all kinds of different, like, there's like a sensory deprivation tank. There's like pretty much everything that you could imagine. And so after this hour, you receive those benefits of a long rest. And as you like complete this process, what augments are you selecting, if any?
Can we take time to look at all these?
I haven't even gotten a
Oh.
chance to look at them.
Well, it is 9:16, so yeah, if we want, we can kind of, you guys can like pick and we can maybe like retroactive those. We got like, well, this is a good place, I feel like, to end, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll end a little bit early tonight. It is 9:15. We're going to stop for this week. You guys
Queen
can,
signs us off.
yeah. Who does?
Katie did.
Good queen.
What does that mean?
That
So
means
you.
Your
You.
girlfriend
Oh,
asked for Katie to sign us off,
okay.
Give the people what they want.
which
Those
is
people being my lovely partner.
sexy voices, I assume.
So all of you will pick an augment. At the beginning of next week's session, we'll find out what that is. If you can't wait until next week, we are going to be having our original D&D campaign, Courts of Everest, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can join me, Matt, Kara. We are going to be joined by a few other people, such as Vincent, Hannah, Alana, and Tina. That is our D&D campaign. That'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Give me 1 second here. Pull up my buttons. All right. But I like don't even remember what the voice is.
It was really soft and
No, I
gentle.
remember. I wrote the character.
Yeah, her wings. I'm having her wings fluttering.
It's really dangerous out there, so try your best to stay safe. We'll see you next week. Bye.
See you, space boyfriend.
Bye.
All right.